Hello, everyone. Hello and welcome. Please say hi in chat if you can hear me, if you can see me. Hi. Welcome wherever you are to my second community Q&A event. Please let me know where you're dialing in from. From Greece. That's really late where you guys at. So thank you for joining us from Greece. Slovakia, Kansas, LA, Germany, all over. You guys, Emirates, that's amazing. I really expected a mostly North American, maybe South American crew today. So it warms my heart that we have so many people from Europe as well. And even Asia. Look at that, Vietnam. We just visited Vietnam, actually, Da Nang, in the summer. So that was quite wonderful. So welcome. All righty, my darlings. So the way that this is going to go is I love to start with just a quick opening of the circle, like just an attunement. Well, we're gonna connect to each other's energies and vibrations because this is going to be a shared healing space for us. That's one. Two, from there, once we're all part of the bigger, larger collective family, you're going to get a chance to ask questions. And we're going to go into, well, every single event is really different because I do this for you. And so whatever wants to come through, whatever questions you guys have is really going to determine the agenda for today. I will tell you this, there is a lot of consistency in the group that gathers, especially the group that gathers online. So you're going to see a lot of people asking the same questions as you are probably pondering in your own heads, because there's a lot of resonance and vibration within our collective space. And when somebody's asking a question, even if you feel the question does not resonate with you, or for instance, you're not quite sure how it applies to you, know in your heart of hearts that it does. Otherwise, you would not have been a vibrational match to our collective space. Towards the end, I would love to do an activation, which is more like a deep meditation, probably light language, transmission, whatever needs to come through for the group. And again, I do this tuning into your vibration, what your higher selves want, et cetera, et cetera. So that's how we're going to do it. Oh, and just one more thing. I have here Sergey, my husband. Sergey, do you want to say hi really quickly, just so they know who you are?
Hello, hello. Probably you can hear me and see me. Yeah, I'm Maria's partner and husband.
Can you guys give me a plus sign if you can see Sergey and hear? Just double checking. Um, yes. Okay. Amazing. So yeah, Sergey is, he's really helping me build this from the grounds up, and he's the guy behind the camera. He's in charge of all technology for our family. So he's also the one that selects the questions. So he's really good at that. So it's my joy to be co-hosting with him. That's that, you guys. With that, I invite you to close your eyes and tune in with me into your own energy first and foremost, because this space is for you to get some healing, get the activations, and get your own intentions answered. And so, first thing I'm going to ask you to do is think of your intention for today's event, something that you would love to get an answer to directly or indirectly, something that you would like to resolve today directly or indirectly. And just place that intention in front of you as if it was a golden globe of light. And I am watching all of your golden globes light up. It's quite beautiful. And now I want you to imagine that you're standing in a big wide circle of all the people who are watching this right now live, and all of the people who are going to watch this later on a replay. And we are all setting this big circle. And look how in front of everybody, there is a golden glow of our intentions. I invite you to send that, your personal globe, your personal golden orb with your intention towards the middle of the circle. And notice how everybody else does the same. And as you do all of these globes, all of these circles, they unite into one and they amplify each other. So when our intentions amplify one another in this way, true magic, true alchemy is possible. And this is what we are co-creating here together. Our intentions are so much stronger when they are joined, when they are merged, because you can tap into the energy and the vibration of this group to get a resolution or an answer, to get the closure that you may need at this time. And now I invite you to notice that surrounding us, or rather, as we look up, we see this beautiful waterfall of golden light starting to stream down from the heavens, covering all of our bodies, washing over you, helping you come to your center, releasing any stress or tension that you may be holding in your body, and creating a protective cocoon of golden light right around you. So you can stay safe for this entire experience. But this is not the only thing that this golden energy does. It also helps you connect to your higher self, to your higher aspect. And so I want you to notice or imagine a picture that there's a golden thread that stretches straight from your crown center, up, up, and up. And somewhere high, high up above, there is your higher self, your highest aspect, your most lit up aspect, your oversoul. And this golden thread is connecting you to your higher self's heart. Just notice how many higher selves we have present in this moment, in this space, all providing their loving presence, all providing their nurturing energies, all providing their protections for us. It is my intention that today you are going to get your answers one way or another. If you don't hear them directly spoken on this call, then you will get them via a transmission from your higher self, one way or another. And now notice how your higher self is starting to send you the energy that you need the most right now, the vibration that you need the most right now. And that vibration descends into your crown like a cloud of a particular color, whatever you need right now. Accept that energy and give it room in your body. Allow it to go exactly where it needs to go, because that energy has a home inside of you. So give it room, give it space, invite it in with gratitude for this gift from your higher self. And with that, we're going to consider our circle open. And remember, for while you are in the circle, your energy is amplified, so resolutions can come quickly. And with that, our space is open. And I invite you to open your eyes and come back. Let me know how you guys are feeling, how this is landing for you, how the energies of your higher self are feeling in your body. Good. Starting to tune in. Somebody's excited, somebody's grateful, calm, yes, blissful, centered, chills all over. There you go. That's how you know you're receiving from the right place. If you're getting chills. Wonderful. Yes, 1:11 on the clock for somebody. I'm assuming it's like 1 a.m. So God bless you for even being here at 1 a.m. All right, my darlings. So here's what we're going to do now. If you would love to ask questions, if you would love to participate, I'm going to ask you to raise your hand right now. And when you do, what's going to happen is Sergey is going to start adding you to a different view. So we're going to be able to see you. We're going to be able to see your faces. So he's going to start shifting your status, because we're testing this new Zoom feature and we're still getting a hang of it. So raise your hand if you have a question. And know that whether you are the one that gets picked today or you are not, one way or another, your request is going to be heard and your request is going to be responded to in due time. Just be open to that possibility. Be open to magic, because when you invite the magic in, it really starts amplifying everything in your life. And Sergey is letting you in. It's going to take some time.
Yeah, it's gonna take some time, but Maria, do you wanna like the topic, the theme for today, or it's
Sure.
anything?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for reminding me. So I am diving really deep into the energies of abundance, into the energies of manifestation, into the energies of money, just naturally. Like this is what I am most curious about right now. Now, if you guys know me, in 2021, I wrote a book about manifestation. So not like this is a new theme for me. I like go in stages, I feel like. So I'm very ignited by helping you with that theme because a lot of energy is coming through for me from call it the cosmos to talk about those topics. So if you have a question that specifically is related to anything manifestation, if you're stuck on something like something's not working with your manifestation, for instance, or like broader on abundance, like you're going to reach a certain level of abundance. Or if you have a money question, like what is holding you back? What's happening with your lineage? Maybe is it a past life thing? Like we can dive into any and all of that, whatever you're most present to. However, while like this is the overarching theme for the event, but you have a very different question, right? Of course, Sergey is actually going to be the one selecting who gets to ask the question today. Then, you just ask a question, whatever is most present for you in this moment. And then I'll just take it from a sign from the universe that this is what we're meant to work through as a collective right now. So that is kind of how we're going to do this. So that's that. If you can just drop in the chat for me, what is most alive for you right now? Like just so that I can tune in this way as well. Like, what is it that you guys are, would love to get from this event? Just drop it in the chat for me. Like, what is most present for you? What are some of the questions that you have? Manifesting money, money and well-being, quantum leaping. There you go. Healing, clarity, blockage, release, money, blocks around abundance, connecting to higher self, money and overspending, lack. Love all of those. Career. Okay, a lot of manifesting abundance, psychic gifts. That's great. Life purpose, healing trauma. Okay, this is super, super helpful. Money and spiritual gifts. Money. Okay, well, this is going to be a fun one, I can already tell. Thank you
Yep.
guys. Thank you guys.
Awesome. So we have a lot of hands, and I'm gonna keep adding people to panelists.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get inside the panelists, you don't have to raise your hand because then we're gonna be peeking from the panelists. But again, everybody, it's we're all aligned. If there is a question from a panelist, this question will most likely resonate with all of us. But we can begin.
Yeah, somebody's
And
asking really quickly. Somebody's asking how to raise their hand. On the bottom of the screen, next to the green button that says share, I mean, maybe you don't have the green button. Actually, don't know what your view looks like, but there is a button that says raise your hand and it has like a little hand pictogram. So that's how you raise your hand for those of you that are, that are Zooming for the first time with us. Cool. I think that's that. But a lot of people with purpose and money today. Inner wisdom. I love that. Thank you, Simone. Simone is inner wisdom. I don't know for Simone, I don't know if you like my meditations, but there is an entire path I made for inner wisdom. I think you're going to love that a lot because I'm big on wisdom and like seeking wisdom, and there's a lot of light language in there on wisdom. For those of you guys that don't know that we have an app, we do have an app. It's about 3 days old. It's like a really small baby. It's called One Mother and it's available on iOS. So if you're also looking for wisdom, you may enjoy a meditation path on there. Wholeheartedly invite you to join that space. It's been a labor of love and my favorite creation of anything I've ever made. So cool. Sergey, let's
awesome.
go. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do it. And also, if you got to the panelist, but your camera is off, that's going to be really hard to pick you because Zoom doesn't show you in the list in the gallery if the camera is off. Yeah, so if you're a panelist, turn on your camera. All right. So let's begin with Paula. Paula. And you can unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hi.
Wow. I am impressed by my manifestation abilities because I manifested this. This is amazing. Wow.
It's already working.
Yeah. And I just woke up like 3 minutes ago and my Zoom was already running and I was like, oh my God, I have to get up. Okay. I took notes down so that I don't get lost in the blabbers. So, a few blocks that I feel are connected in my money and in my field are the block of money flow, the block of pleasure flow, specifically sexual energy inside of my body, a block of air, breath, my throat, my sense of smell through a sinus infection that I've been carrying with me for a few years now. And I just a few hours ago made the connection that the infection started approximately when I quit my part-time job and I started to do my small business in full time. And I do have a huge resistance to paying taxes, which I feel is blocking my money flow immensely.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot think so big that money is money wise that I don't care about taxes anymore, and I don't agree at all how my money is spent and with how little transparency it is spent. And so, although I would love to receive an abundance of money, whether I work for it or it comes in other ways into my life, I feel that this belief alone already blocks the flow immensely,
Mm-hmm.
apart from other money trauma that I have. And let me take a quick breather. And yeah, I do the work as best as I can, and it is work because we're a light workers called for a reason. And it's not the easiest task that we took on when we came here.
Yeah.
But and specifically, the infection is kind of a blind spot to me, and I would love to know
Mm-hmm.
what this is about, what it's teaching.
Where are you feeling the infection?
Um, Specifically on the right side, and it like shines into my eye,
Yeah.
into the
Yeah.
to the
Okay.
side of my head.
That makes complete sense. It aligns with what I was seeing anyway. Cool. So there's a lot. We're not going to have the time to unpack quite everything. And by the way, it's not impacting you in quite the same ways. In terms of like, you think certain things impact you more than they actually are, and then you're underplaying some other things. So I'm just going to tell you what the big blockers are. And again, if you're tuning in and if you're listening, somehow, some way, this also relates to you. And it's like, just let that communication drop into your heart, because probably there's something that, in there that you have either a similar type of trauma or, a similar type of healing that is required. So there's a lot to unpack in what you said, Paula. The first thing that when you started speaking, even before you mentioned all of the other things that I'm seeing, is the block in your throat. So I would say that if we were to pick one thing that would be the culprit of all of your issues, it would not be your sacral chakra, it would be your throat. This is also something that started really, really, really early on in your life. It's not a new problem. In fact, I'm seeing something around where you were like 3 years old. So really, really early on. And it's obviously, when we have a block in the throat, it's almost self-explanatory. It's a communication issue. And it was specifically around you not being heard or seen, like your needs were not being met completely. It's like you were an invisible kid. And specifically, and I maybe I should be asking you, like, what is your relationship with your dad?
Barely existent. I do love him, but I hear from him like once a year, and he's alive still, but I don't. Yeah,
Did you grow up with him?
no.
Okay, got it. That's what it is. So, did you like when you were 3 years old though, was he around or not?
He must have been around still then, yeah.
Okay, got it.
But I don't
Because
really remember.
right, because you have almost like a joint issue of like being invisible and then also being abandoned by a male figure. So it's this discomfort of like not being held by the masculine, feeling like you cannot trust the masculine, like the man for some reason is not a reliable figure. Like, and not only that, but when the man is around, he's not around in a way that is nurturing. But a man may be around in a way that is either abusive or just very domineering. And so essentially what you're seeing, and that's the infection right now also. And so how do I unpack it so that it's quick and efficient and that you get it? The trauma that's created in us when we were little children, if we're invisible, we want to prove, and this especially is prominent with fathers, we want to prove to the father, if we feel invisible, that we matter. And so, very often we create our life around doing the things that would make us visible to this one parental figure. Ironically, though, our world is going to reflect to us, including the businesses that we start. So you mentioned you started a new business, but you have a communication block. And on this path of trying to prove to dad that you're worthy, we all kind of like, we play the different games. Some of us start businesses, some of us get degrees, like whatever we do. Some of us try to make a lot of money. By the way, there's no logical rhyme or reason of why we choose this one thing. Like it may have nothing to do with dad, actually, right? Like it just makes us feel good. Here's the deal, though. No matter what you do, it's going to accentuate the old trauma until you face it, right? So in your business, I feel like your communication is very closed up as well. I'm assuming, and it is an assumption, but you tell me, do you feel like, do you have employees? Actually, maybe I should ask that. Do you have employees? Do you have people that depend on you? Like, do you have people on your team? Not yet. Okay. So who do you need to communicate to in your business? Customers?
Yeah, mainly.
Okay,
And
got it.
I'm in a phase of transition right now, but I guess it doesn't matter what I do.
Yes, kind of.
Yeah.
It kind of doesn't matter what you do, because if this big issue is right here, and the issue is, like, if I were to describe what your throat is screaming at me right now, it would be, I'm invisible. I don't matter. I'm not amounting to anything. I have this big fear that my life is not going to amount to anything. I don't think I will ever matter to dad, no matter what I do, or how successful I am. And by the way, if dad does not acknowledge my value and my worth, maybe I don't have it in the first place. Well, if I don't have worth, all of these people around me are going to see that I don't have the worth. So it's a little bit like that. It's a little bit of like circular logic. Like you're essentially extrapolating, you're projecting what dad or how dad made you feel onto all the other people. And so, in other words, you're also blocked in your communication with customers. Like what could be possible for you, like the flow that could be possible for you if your throat chakra wasn't blocked, money flow, abundance flow, customer flow, is 10 to 20 times bigger than what you're seeing right now, easily, just with this like one fix.
Mhm.
Really quickly, I'll mention taxes. Taxes is a whole other, situation. I know I'm like jumping back and forth. On the one hand, how taxes are being spent right now, like nobody really in the world has any transparency around their taxes. I'm American and pay American taxes. I want to weep every single time I think about where my money is going. Weep, because it's freaking, but what are you going to do, right? Like we signed on, I'm a citizen of this country. I'm going to have to play by the rules unless I want to go to jail. That being said, if you have resistance towards paying taxes, and I've actually seen it different ways. Some people have resistance towards paying taxes. Some people who run businesses have a resistance towards refunds. I've worked with people who are like, they hate when people come to them for a refund. Like if you're a practitioner and you think you did a good job and somebody's like, I hate your services, they suck. They're like, they would come to me like, Mariya, I cannot give them a single refund. I don't care if it's $5. There's something about their entire being that like refunds just screams lack to them, and that everybody's is going to come and take their money. And with taxes, there's a little bit of that same reasoning where I already don't think I have enough. You're going to come after my money? Like, what did you do for me to come after my money type of situation? So with people who dislike taxes, with people who don't like hate refunds as business owners, or like sometimes they're like really worried that somebody's going to come to them for a raise. Like if they have employees, they're like, oh my God, they're going to ask for more money. Like, I don't know, like all of these things, like being worried, that's all different like varieties of lack mentality.
Yeah.
Like when you have so much, you're not going to worry about it. It's funny because I was also worried about taxes. I'm a business owner. I've been a business owner for 11 years. Initially my business wasn't profitable, so it was all good. You don't pay taxes on that. And then it started getting profitable, and then it started getting very profitable, and then it started getting very profitable. And then I came to my coach because I have a business coach, and my business, and I was like, okay, well, can you tell me how to pay less taxes, please? Because like forget about my personal taxes. My business tax is exorbitant at this point. And I'm like, what do I do? Like, do we do an offshore company? Blah, blah, blah. And he goes, just Mariya, just focus on building a big company. That's all you need to worry about. I'm like, yes, taxes is a part of growth. Like it is what it is. But if you worry about the top line, if you worry about just like increasing your flow of abundance, you're not going to even notice. And he's right. Because like, I don't really notice taxes right now at all. Like they're coming out, I'm sure. You know, I have an entire accounting team to make sure we pay them and like a bunch of IRS audits that we pass with flying colors. But, you know, like taxes no longer bother me because instead of being in the lack mentality and watching for all of the things that I'm spending and being like, well, there's an expenditure here, an expenditure here, an expenditure there, you focus on the top line. Because at every single moment in time, your brain's capacity can only be in one place. So either you're thinking about how to spend less and hold on to money, or you're thinking about how to earn more. And when you put your resource, your life force into thinking about how to earn more, it always gets you further along every single time, every single time. So essentially, if taxes bother you, or you know refunds bother you, or any of the above, just know that this is a sign that you're in lack mentality. The moment you snap out of it, they're like you're not even going to remember the taxes are real, pretty much. And that's like that's possible for you. And the way that you personally get through that, I'm not saying that's the answer for every single person, because the money issues or the abundance issues, they can be stuck in pretty much any of your chakras, depending on your past lives, depending on the history of your lineage, and depending on your own karmic knots that you brought into this lifetime. There are some people whose money issues are stuck in the sacral, to your point. And with those people, I'm going to have to unblock their feminine energies. There are people whose biggest money are stuck, like, you know, the biggest block is in the communication, right? Which is like you're one such person. And then with them, we need to go into the throat and like being able to express and communicate. There are some people whose money issues are stuck in the solar plexus. And that is the ability to make decisions. That is the ability to, you know, have inspired action, et cetera, et cetera. And the healing over there is different, right? So healing money is a complex thing. Now, just by a raise of hands, not a raise of hands, sorry, drop it in the chat for me, like a plus sign, if you guys believe you have a throat block, and like around money or in general. And if you want me to do something, if you want me to give you like some things that, you know, some release. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of pluses. And that's how the community works. I don't know if you guys are looking at the chat, but usually, like, especially somebody that gets cold at the very beginning, there's a lot of resonance with the group. Okay. We're just going to do a parts work exercise. It's very easy. You can do that anytime you're experiencing a blockage in any chakra. You can do that at any time that you are experiencing a shadow. So what we're going to do right now is, because this is a collective issue, very clearly, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and just focus on your throat center. And especially if you guys are feeling discomfort, physical discomfort, like pain or something. And then for you specifically, Paula, or if anybody else has a similar issue, like that infection that is in the right side of your body. By the way, the right side is the masculine, so it's connected to your father. It's the father wounding, right? If you guys have something in your upper body in the right side, or really any side for that matter, imagine dropping that into your throat and almost like collecting everything, all of that pain in the throat area. And just we're going to deal with all of that pain, all of that sensation, and really allow yourself to feel that pain, because very often in life we walk around and we're pretending that pain is not real until the acuteness of it becomes so strong we couldn't bypass it if we tried, right? So we're almost like wired to not like not notice things until they get into critical mode. And then what I'm asking you to do is imagine taking that, and usually for a lot of you, it's going to look like darkness, taking all of that pain out of your neck and placing that in front of you so we could observe it. So look at that. Look at that, feel that. If you're not getting any visuals, that's totally okay. But just feel that pain like an observation. Feel that part of you, because it is a part of you. It is a part of you that is wounded. It is a part of you that's traumatized one way or another. Could be by a parental figure, could be by another figure. But for a lot of you, it was caused by a man or many men in your life. And as you're observing it, the most important part, because compared to this part in front of you, you are the big guy. You're the adult in the room. Because every traumatized part of you is like a baby, is like a child. And not only that, but the version of you right now is the most advanced, the most sophisticated version of you yet. And as you're observing this part, the number one thing that it wants to be is witnessed. It wants to be heard. And what this part wants to tell us right now is, I've been so lonely. And I felt so alone in this. And half of the time you weren't even on my side. Half of the time you didn't even want to hear me. Because you were trying to be the good girl or the good boy. You were trying to maintain peace. You put yourself last. And with time you forgot how I sound, what I feel like. You forgot to pay attention to my pain. You forgot about me. So I feel forgotten. And I feel invisible. And I feel like I don't matter to you. And this is very sad. So that is how this part of you feels. And we're just witnessing it. We're witnessing this unseen part, this hurt part. And now as you're looking at it, I want you to tell it. You can repeat it out loud or in your head. You can repeat my words. I finally see you. I'm finally here. And I'm so sorry that you felt like I left you behind. I'm so sorry that you felt alone and invisible to me and unloved. I am so sorry that you thought I forgot about you or that you didn't matter. I know you're scared. And I know you've been hurt. And I know that you're in pain. But it doesn't have to be like that anymore. It will be different now. Because I'm here. And I will no longer ignore you. From this day onward, I shall become your parent. I shall become your rock and the shoulder you can cry on. I shall become your strong father energy and your gentle mother energy because you're so important to me and you matter. You matter so much. Your voice matters. And as you're saying all of these things, first notice how the pain in your neck, if you experience pain, is starting to dissipate. It's starting to clear up. There's all this space, all this lightness that's starting to come into your system. And you may also notice that this being in front of you is shifting. This person, this baby, this child aspect of yours in front of you may be shifting. They may be changing shapes. Tell them, I see you for who you are. The beautiful being that you are, with dreams and aspirations. And I assure you, you are worthy. And here's the deal that I'm going to make with you. From this day forward, I will take care of all the problems. You do not have to worry about problems anymore. You can be a child. You can be my baby. I give you full permission to be my baby. You don't have to be so strong anymore. You no longer have to bear it. You no longer have to keep surviving, because I'm here now. I will be your strength, and I will be your power, and I will be the love that carries you forward. Because you're so important to me. You're my baby. And I will never leave you alone anymore. And notice how this part in front of you is really transforming now for a lot of you. It's either going to become a happy baby or just like a very vibrant energy, and it's really, really transformed. And now invite that energy back into your body and give it room and space, and tell this energy, I give you space in my body and my life. And you can take as much of it as you need right now. No questions asked. Right now, you can have as much room in my body. And I allow you to play and be merry, like children are supposed to be. Because I see you. You are finally seen by me. And I love you so much. Forever. Then allow that energy to go in your body exactly where it needs to go. And if it needs to go everywhere, then allow it to go everywhere. Allow it to go everywhere. In its playful manner, in its vibrant manner, in whichever manner it needs to go. And then from there, I invite you to open your eyes. Whenever you're ready, just do a little stretch. Let me know how your throat feels right now if you want to drop something in the chat, or how in general, how you're feeling. But this is just a quick example of parts work that you can do anytime something like that comes up. But it's a very quick, very effective, very potent practice. And the more you dive into your spiritual flow, the easier it's going to come to you, and it could be very, very transformative right away. So, Paula, coming back to you, this is really like two things, right? Working on the throat chakra. I'm not saying we removed everything, but your infection is connected to the throat and expression. So essentially what you need to do is you need to give yourself permission to speak. Because you've been second guessing yourself, doubting yourself for essentially entire life. So giving yourself permission means just really allowing yourself to do that. It's actually also interesting because your throat is connected to your sacral, in the sense that there is shame of speaking for whatever reason. Speaking for you is connected to this emotion of shame. And if you're listening to that, tune into that as well. If shame comes up to you, whether through communication or through action, it can come up because like if shame lives inside of it, it's probably because it lives in your lineage. And shame is actually very, very prevalent in women specifically. It's like one of the emotions we feel as women for whatever reason. There is an exercise that you can do around shame, which is first like make a list of all of the things that you feel like you're ashamed of, or like you're not allowing yourself to do. And then saying, like essentially rewriting it, saying, I allow myself to ... For instance, if you're ashamed of speaking up, you say, I am finally allowing myself to speak up. right? And it's all the process of allowing, because, you know, if we're trying to play into a particular, like, usually it's with good girls, like the good girl archetype, like if we're trying to be a good person, very often a lot of the things that would be natural expressions of our being, we're going to be ashamed of. Like, this is not really, the good girls don't do that. Good girls don't do this. By the way, good boys, same story applies, right? It's not just, you know, for women specifically. And when you simply allow yourself, like you have to validate in your system that being yourself is okay. It's not shameful. And the way you validate that is through language, because at one point it was invalidated through language. At one point, a mental construct took over conditioning, mental conditioning came and took over and said, that's shameful, whatever that is, right? And it, you know, I may ask 10 people and they may all disagree what's shameful, to be honest. Like there are some things that everybody thinks are shameful, but, you know, as I'm scanning even this group, like half of the things that you guys think are shameful are like nowhere close, like nowhere close, right? And so it's a little bit of that mental trap. And the way we untrap ourselves is by validating in our entire system and like allowing ourselves from a very, very deep place, all of these things that we have denied ourselves. And that is where the healing is going to come, because that is when you start coming into your original vibration. It's like all of us, each of us, we have a sound, the original sound, the original vibration, like almost like when we came as a baby, we were that sound. And then trauma happened. It was meant to happen. But this entire life is almost coming back to that original sound in a way. But the way you do that is not by reducing, removing, and denying yourself the things that you're meant to be doing. It's by, you know, pulling the curtain up and saying, you know what, everything is fair game now because I allow myself. And that is where you start shifting things in your lineage. I hope this makes sense. I hope this makes sense.
It does.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you ever want additional throat chakra healing, I have like an entire workshop on that whenever you call to that. And that's very effective with your specific thing, because like there is more in your throat that needs to come out. And in general, for all of you guys with throat issues, I highly, highly recommend journaling, especially during emotionally intensive times. Because with people that didn't feel visible, it didn't feel like it was safe for them to communicate in their house, so much of that communication is stuck within you that you literally have to write morning pages where you're like, this is how I'm feeling, and validating your feelings. And it's almost like start extracting those feelings from outside of you and making that okay in your world, because that's therapy for you. You don't even need the therapist. You're your own therapist with the morning pages. But like literally validating and allowing yourself all of the shameful thoughts and all of the shameful feelings, and just saying, you know what, that's okay now in my queendom or kingdom. That's fine. I allow myself those thoughts. Those are no longer shameful because I just made them such. I hope this helps. I think we're ready for the next one, Sergey. And thank you so much, Paula.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's go next. Ida Hinkova.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice
Thank
to
you
meet
so
you.
much to the both of you for this opportunity. I'm very grateful.
Thank you for being here.
Okay, so a few years ago I had my awakening, and then I had a lot of spiritual ego, and then I met a guy, and I was trying to be as healthy as possible. I wasn't drinking. Yeah, I just hated everything that had to do with drinking or being asleep. You know, I saw people as sheeple. Then I met him, and he was the first guy that I drank with after 2 years, and I wasn't really in love, but he had the things that I wanted. We're both artists. He's a producer, I'm a singer. And then eventually I fell in love with him. And I also understood why I attracted him, because I was very black and white. And now I'm learning to be a bit more grounded. And I think that I also opened up this new spiritual world for him. But I feel like there's a lot of friction, because I've always tried to like get him into this world, but I've realized that it's not my thing to do. I can't force him. And now I have come to a point that I'm not sure, but I feel like this relationship might be the thing that is blocking my manifestations, because in the first place I entered this relationship out of ego, because I thought, oh, he has what I want, it might help me. And I know it's not a good thing, but I did fall in love, and now I feel like universe is like, yeah, you're scared that you won't be able to get what you want without someone who already has what you want. So yeah, I'm just not sure. Can this relationship block me from moving into the fifth dimension? Will it hold me back, or is it not true? I'm not sure.
I love that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Can the relationship block you from moving into 5D if you're meant to move into 5D? Probably not. However, is every relationship forever? Absolutely not. So your part of elevating into, what we can lovingly refer as the 5D could be finding your own way and finding yourself again. It's actually really interesting because the first thing that they showed me was I don't know, am I taking it to a dire level? I hope you're not going to get scared. But they were showing me the 15th arcana, the devil card. That's what this guy represents for you, the temptation. I'm not saying he's the devil. I'm just saying that's the energy.
No, I
Big
get that.
distinction.
Oh,
Big distinction.
You have no idea. Once I entered his room, he had like a black and white t-shirt. I have had like so many attacks of like demons in his room, and they're all like, "Oh, we're not gonna let you go to the light side." And then I tell him, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't really see it like that." And then I'm like,
Of course, they never do, by the way. They never do. The dark side
yeah,
never thinks it's a problem. No, it's
yeah,
actually
it's
really
hard.
interesting because temptation as a vehicle is a learning mechanism. It's actually a good thing if you think about it, because very often souls that are very say there is a lesson that you want to learn, whatever that lesson is. Like, for instance, in your case, it's like, I can do it on my own. That's the lesson that your soul wanted to learn. Like, I don't need no guy to help me make money, to unlock happiness for me. Like, and you've been on that for many lifetimes. And you're pretty much this is the life of where you're passing the exam. You're this close to being done. Let's close this. And the temptation is usually that last thing. Because do you guys remember when Jesus went to meditate for 40 days in the desert? The last thing that showed up was the devil. It's literally the last thing before ascension happens, always for anybody, at any level. And temptation is a very beautiful mechanism, because if there are any remnants, any residual energies, it's like this temptation is going to magnetize everything from the very bottom of the well and bring them to the surface. And if that charge is enough, you're going to get tempted. And if that charge is not enough, you just pass on and you didn't even notice that you were tempted, right?
Yeah.
So in this particular case, you said he had something that I wanted. And the one thing that you didn't recognize was that it was already in you. So that that energy that you thought was very attractive about him, and I'm not talking just I'm not talking the darkness, but I'm talking about the energy of being able to get what you want. That energy, you have that. You're super attractive. Yeah. Always had been. It's the thing is, but the question you're asking is, can a relationship block you from development? The answer is absolutely yes.
Yeah, because I do feel like I need to dim my light, and each time I'm very excited about something, I share it and I don't get anything back, and then I'm like, maybe it's me, maybe I just should keep it for myself and learn how to be more quiet, because I have a very active throat chakra. I don't know, I keep looking at myself, but sometimes I want others to look at themselves too.
No, absolutely. No. You're on the path of development. And I think eventually every female on that path has to be faced with a question. Is she going to settle for a guy who's completely not on the path and on the path of ruin? Or is she going to choose better? Which one is it? And a lot of us women are going to have to be faced with that choice. Nobody is going to give you a manual of there is no right or wrong answer. I mean, I can tell you what your soul wants you to do, right? Like what you're
Yeah,
gonna
I
do
know.
is up to you. But the ironic part is you already know what your soul wants to do. You don't even need me for that.
Yeah.
You know what the right answer is, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's just a matter of time, and I don't like this feeling. I just keep my ego keeps believing in a wonder, but I know it cannot happen just like that.
Wonders happen.
I know
Big
it happened.
distinction. Somebody, like the guy in this case, needs to want for it to happen and needs to work for it to happen. He's not there. So in that case, you're gonna just wish him into changing. He needs to want to wish into changing,
Yeah,
and I don't
yeah,
see that. If you are asking about the impact, his energy is actively blocking your crown and blocking your third eye.
yeah.
He's blocking your
Okay,
higher
okay.
centers. Yeah. So
Yes.
not the throat, although your throat is overly active because a part of you almost like wants to wake him up from his sleep and be like, come
Yeah.
on, can't you see what I see? That's why it's overactive. Overactive, by the way, is not good either because you're wasting a lot of your energy that needs to go up in trying to change him
Mhm.
and but that's not happening. So it's a little bit of like, you know, what do they call it? Um it's don't remember the exact quote, so I'm not going to say it, but like essentially giving something to somebody who's not able to receive it, like he's not able to receive it.
Yeah.
I think the more important part is let's address the fact that in your particular instance, I think you started with a question of can I do it on my own? And I think that's what's really relevant for like the women in this group, right? Like, can I do it without a guy? I'm not saying you have to, right? But there's a little bit of the question, like especially if you're in a committed relationship and you have like two paychecks, or especially if you're a guy is making the money and you're the one that's maybe making less or not making the money right now. There's always the question of can I do it on my own? And the answer is always yes, you're meant to, right? This day and age, we as women carry enough of that creative potential that we can do it all. I'm not saying that's the ideal, that we have to, raise kids and do all of this, but you have that potential, very much so. And in this case, the answer lies in the solar plexus. So it's your solar plexus chakra, right? And that is that confidence and belief and like a little bit of that self-worth, just a tiny bit, not a big distortion for you, just a little bit. But ironically for you, self-confidence is one of those things that in your case, because like there are some people I look at them and like there are like big, massive changes that we need to do around confidence. With you, the only reason you lack confidence is because you haven't tried enough things and you haven't actually been in enough action to know that when you are in action, things just align for you so quickly, like it's gonna blow your mind. And so
Yeah.
it's just being like selecting what is it that you want to do for you. And and it's hard because his energies are very present in you and you're very receptive. But like if it's almost like allowing yourself space for meditation practice where you put yourself, gonna sound terrible, but imagine there's like a container, like a bottle that you could put yourself in and separate yourself from his energies for just like 3 hours. Put yourself like in the little glass container and be like, okay, my guy is not in this bottle with me. And then what is it that I want when he's not influencing me? By the way, the same exercise is just as good if there is another figure in your life that's very imposing. It could be a parental figure. It could be like a strict mom that's always there and you're like, can't separate my energies from them. So it's hard for me to know what I want, what I'm good at versus what they are projecting and what they want me to do. And sometimes for years, you may be pursuing the path that they want or that would make them happy instead of what would make you happy. And so this separation exercise, not a forever separation, but like literally putting yourself in your own energies and letting yourself be in the pause, letting yourself be in the quiet moment is going to give you a lot of clarity because the path that the path that you're walking is your own, but because the top chakras are blocked, it's hard for you to see what it is that you're meant to do. But I will tell you, you're more than capable of becoming very wealthy all on your own.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you
Thanks.
on social media?
Yeah, I have Instagram and I started a YouTube channel. I actually sing and I sing about
Yes.
awareness and consciousness, but I also want to like heal people or
Mm-hmm.
like start a TikTok channel, but I don't know if I should do it together. Should I be the spiritual artist or should I separate it? Yeah, I'm still looking. doing so many things actually.
That's the thing with you. Don't focus. You're not meant to. Like, here's the thing. We all have inside of us many archetypes. It could be 20, 30, 40 archetypes. The point is to not pick a favorite and be like, this is my favorite, because even if you do, by the way, in like however many years or months, it's going to feel old and you're going to be like, why did I lock myself into this? Like, I'm not just that, I'm all these other 39 things, and I'm play acting like I'm just this one thing. And that is where a lot of people actually on social media, hilariously, they put themselves into a niche, and then they're so sick and tired of it that they're like, there's no way I can talk about like making food again. Like if I'm a food blogger, like just a random example. And so they quit cold turkey, like don't want to do YouTube. YouTube is a trap. YouTube is not a trap. YouTube is not a cage. You chose one archetype of the 40, and you chose that you're going to emanate just that. And it's incredibly boring. So the point is, you're not just a spiritual artist, and you're not just non-spiritual artist. You're all of it, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so allowing all of these parts to come through your social media, whichever account, or all of them, and you don't need separate accounts. Like this one is for this, for like my mommy side that likes kids. This one is for gardening, and this one is like, you can be all in one because you are in one, like one person. So yeah,
That's what I
don't put,
wanted. Yeah.
and that is very aligned for you. And by the way, through social media, you like your community is waiting for you, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm very grateful for this because I feel like I just needed to hear this because now I know my thoughts, not my thoughts, my feelings were confirmed. And with the social medias, I wanted to just do everything with my name and be myself,
Yeah.
and not have separate things. But I was scared that people would judge me. La la la. So yeah. No.
People judge us all the time. That's the funny thing
Yeah.
about judging. The opposite is also true, you guys. We judge people.
That's
I
true.
notice though, the less I judge people, the less they judge me. The more
That's
I
very
love
true.
people, the more they love me. And so, you know, instead of trying to prevent the world from judging me, I'm like, Mariya, just come into your center. Like, have you judged anybody today? If yes, what else did you expect from the universe? It's automatic. And so,
Yeah.
you know, and it's actually a trained response. Like acceptance is a trained thing. Like you can train your brain to not judge others. You
Mhm.
can train your brain to, you know, to not compare yourself to others, which is like yet another form of judgment, because like, you know, I'm above, they're below, I'm below, they're above. Like it's this whole roller coaster, because if you're above in one place, you're definitely below in some other place, because there are so many people in the world. Some of them are way better than you at all of these things, right? So all of these things, like that's what our monkey brains do. And it's a trained response. Like when you realize that you can just come from love, then you realize there is nothing to be afraid of. There is this, oh my God, you guys, I don't even know. I don't know why I'm freaking mentioning this. I don't know, has anybody taken Landmark Forum? It's like a very New York thing to do. I don't know why I'm like telling you this, but okay, somebody needs to hear this. I was 20 years old, something like maybe 22, whatever. And so I decided to take this Landmark Forum, which is like this weekend course. And we're sitting in an auditorium with like 200 people, however many. And they're making us do this exercise, which was like life-changing for me. We're doing this exercise and they're like, okay, close your eyes and imagine that you're deathly scared of, you're, hold on. It was a while ago, so I need to get the sequence right. Essentially, you imagine that you're deathly scared of everybody. Deathly scared of everybody in the room. And like it's a very hard feeling. Like your body just contracts and you're like, oh my God, everybody's so scared. Every person, like I'm scared of their judgment. Like, so you feel the judgment in your body. And it's really crazy. Like it sends you, like people were weeping. Like, cause like feeling that in your physical body when you're surrounded by people was not fun. And then they're like, okay, then now let's flip it. And they're flipping it. And like, now imagine everybody's scared of you in the same exact way. And so you're sitting there like this big monster with all these people around you that are deathly scared of you. And in your mind, you're like, oh, but why are they scared of me? I don't mean them no harm. I'm a good person. I'm loving. I want to help them. I want to nurture them. And then you realize that like somebody out there is scared of your judgment, whereas you may be a perfectly good person that's never judging anybody or hardly ever judging anybody. And that's when I realized fear like that of judgment is completely made up. Like we made that construct up. It has nothing to do with reality, because the entire, like 200 people in that auditorium were definitely scared of me. And yet I meant no harm to any single person in there. And that is how you realize that it's all freaking made up. It's not real. And it's a big liberation.
Yeah, it's like your outside mirrors you, and everything is a projection. And I also learned that, actually. But now I'm at the point that I realize that, and all I need to do is just take the step.
Yeah.
And tonight is going to change a lot. And also with the relationship, I feel like this is the last test for me to see if I want to continue this road of ego, I feel like, because I also miss my soul tribe. They come into my life and I see a lot of ego and they leave, and I'm like, I'm seeing groups of people that live in unity, and I'm like, where is my group? And I feel like the energy, because of this relationship, bounces all the lights away.
That's exactly right, because you're, by being in his aura, you're not a vibrational match to the people that you would be a vibrational match to without him. So in many ways, he's holding you back. And you cannot fool the universe, because vibrational resonance works 100% all the time. So you're either a match to those people or you're not.
Oh no, what am I going to do? I was about to meet him tomorrow.
Well, you see, you know what the right answers are. I'm not here to make your choices for you. This is a free will-based universe. But at least now you're informed. And so much love for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mariya. Thank you, Sergey. Thanks.
You're so welcome. All right, let's
Thank you. All right, let's go next. Haley.
Yay!
Right? Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. Okay, so lately I've become obsessed with crystals and like learning all about them. And I used a practice from one of your books where you place a quartz on top of a pyramid, on top of money, on top of an image of the flower of life, and you wait 3 months, and in the meantime visualize it radiating my intention out into the universe. Well, today is payday, and I 100% feel the magic, because I ended up getting paid twice of what I expected, completely out of the blue. And I'm in like complete amazement. Yes. So a couple of questions regarding crystals and how we can manifest with them. First of all, like for this example as a practice, if you place more money under the crystal, and like if the size and type of crystal matter, so like if I use like a 4-inch citrine sphere versus the little 1-inch pyramid that I used. And then the second part is there like a numerical figure to explain if and how much more like times you can manifest like utilizing crystals versus just meditating without them?
Oh God. You see, crystals are amazing tools, but you are a crystal also. And you're probably the biggest crystal of your entire life. Like you're the biggest treasure of your entire life. So let me start with saying that you don't actually need a crystal or any other trinket to manifest. You just need you. So let's start there. Because once you are, because like, I mean, there are so many crystalline beings even within our bodies, all of these like little elemental beings, these particles, like ether from one perspective is a crystalline structure. And ether is the in-between space. So you are one massive crystal. So by tuning your energy, you can be the biggest crystal of all. Like, I mean, I doubt that you're going to buy a crystal the size of the citrine, the size of your body. And also even still, because you're alchemical, you're all of these crystals combined in one person, So let's start with the fact you don't need crystals to manifest. Your energies need to be in alignment, right? Both your masculine and your feminine with the universe. And that's all you need. Now, crystals are amazing tools, as you are on the journey of like clearing and everything. They can be amazing, amazing tools to help manifest. They're not the be all end all. I've certainly used the Vogel crystals a lot for manifestation, clear quartz a lot for manifestation. I've used a lot of crystals for focusing the energy in a certain way. Like if I just need a certain stream to be right next to me, that always helps. But again, understand that you are the prettiest crystal, the biggest crystal around anyway, right? And so if your baby crystal can make this much magic, imagine what you can do.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. So hopefully that's a little message of empowerment for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Does the size of the crystal matter? It doesn't, it doesn't. I mean, bigger crystals obviously have more power, but what's making it magic is your belief and your faith and your energy. It's not really the crystal as an entity by itself that's doing the work. The crystal and like the aura of the crystal and your aura come into this equilibrium, into this dance, into the sacred union, and the two of you are manifesting. You can take the same exact crystal, put it on the table of a non-believer, it wouldn't manifest a thing. So are you the magic or is the crystal the magic? I think the answer is very clear. You're the magic.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome, my dear.
Thank you.
So he's like, who else has their crystals next to them? I know I do. I have my rose, which is very on brand for me. All right, let's go to the next one. What book is this from? I'm assuming it's 72 Keys to Manifestation, right, Haley? Yeah, it's 72 Keys to Manifestation. My first one. I only have 2. So they're not too hard to find. All right, sorry, let's go.
Let's go next. Tara.
Hey. Thank you both so much. I have a question. It's a money question. And it has to do with the intellectualization of it and overthinking of it and doubting the knowledge of how to obtain it. So I feel like I've always had enough and just a little more to save, but never more than that. And so now I'm kind of in this point of thinking, okay, maybe should I start a business? Should I start my own thing? But then I'm caught at this crossroad where I find myself thinking, well, maybe you should go back to school. Maybe you don't know enough. Maybe you need to learn more. And so I'm at this weird place where I'm like, okay, what are some master's degrees I can do? Because right now, all of my friends are going for master's degrees, right? But then I'm like pulled back into, no. What do you want to do? What does your heart want to do? And it's just this fog, and I can't commit to either direction. And I have no idea how to clear this or what it means.
Yes, no, I love that. Thank you so much. Money is a very material thing, and mental frequencies are kind of not. They're probably like they're just very ephemeral. So in other words, like when your energy is stuck too much in the mental and doesn't really get into your body, it's gonna be hard for you to see that and manifest it in real life. So too much, essentially what I'm seeing in your field, too much stays in the head, causing a lot of confusion because where there are too many thoughts, it's analysis paralysis. It's like if you were like on a website or like trying to do a multiple choice test and it had 120 options and you're like, forget about it. I already forgot. Like I'm on number 8 and I already forgot like what the first 7 were. So that's like, that analysis paralysis. The energy of money is actually a very feminine energy. It's a very embodied energy. It starts in your sacral. But if it gets stuck too much in your brain, like in other words, you're overanalyzing and thinking about it and then analyzing again and like trying to just pre-plan everything, and that energy doesn't just drop into your sacral, into your lower belly, it's going to be very hard for you to align with that. The question is, why doesn't it drop there? Because you think, right, if it's energy, it should go exactly where it's supposed to go. Why isn't it going exactly where it's supposed to go? And that is essentially my entire theory on abundance, is that we would already have it, but we're repelling it and we're rejecting it, right? Parts of us. We don't know which ones. If we knew, we would fix it like in 3 seconds, we think, right? But there is, and by the way, this is a very common thing. With you, a part of you doesn't want to take that energy inside of your body because you think money is unclean, money is unsafe. And for whatever in your lineage, on your mom's side, I don't know why, but money feels like it's connected to crime and criminal activity. There's something that they witnessed around crime. And I don't know if it's mafia crime, like something where it's like Money is so dirty because stuff happens. It's very criminal. And you have like a very pure aura. And so a lot of women and men, by the way, in your family don't want to take that in because they're like, oh, I know exactly what this energy is, and I don't want anything to do with it. So let me think. And essentially, what your brain has been thinking about all this time is where to get clean money.
Yeah.
That's what your brain is obsessing on. Like, where
So
can I get
much.
clean money? Well, what is clean money? Is Bitcoin clean? I'm not so sure. The problem is, I'm going to say something terrible. All money is dirty, even Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Right? So like you're going to be looking for some time now. Like
Yeah.
the only way you're going to allow the energy of money to come through your body is if it's 100% clean. However, in one of my videos about money, there is this very simple practice that it's up on YouTube. I just don't remember the name of the video. For people who believe money is dirty, and by the way, are almost like conditioned to believe that because in their lineage, it's like a memory, like it's true. You don't think it's true. It's not a theory that you have. It's like a knowing. It's a belief, core belief that money is dirty, money is evil. It's like part of that same mantra. The rejection is so massive that before you can take and accept that into your life, you need to cleanse it. That's the only way that is going to become a vibrational match to you. So I ask people to picture a white arch in front of them, like a white archway of light. And imagine that as they're receiving the money stream into their lower bellies is like where your money needs to go, where a lot of people's money flow needs to go. It needs to just stay in our wombs almost. And I know men don't have wombs, but it's fine. It's still in the lower belly. And like, just imagine that 100% of the money that comes through is clean. And then all of a sudden, right, like your aura changes the energy of money. And so essentially you become the part of the solution in that instance because you cleanse the money and everything that comes into you all of a sudden is not dangerous anymore, right? Because truth be told, there's a lot of quasi clean money in the world, like money that's not made through nefarious means. Like it does exist. The problem is money is also this collective receptacle of everybody that's ever touched it. And the entire humanity has touched money at this point. And so essentially money really represents this kind of like, if we were to put 100% of human energy into this big melting pot and then try to measure its vibration, it would be the vibration of money. Not very high, unfortunately. I wish it was otherwise, right? And that's why a lot of us, especially the more spiritual we become, we're like, oh, I really want to repel that. This like is yucky. Like there's something about it that's unclean. And of course, so much has been done with money that's not for the greater good. Like weapons are sold and, human trafficking and, it's all kinds of stuff, right? Like that makes us want to just withdraw from that energy. The thing is, if we allow ourselves I'm going to broadly refer to us as light workers or spiritual people, to have that resource, more money can start becoming clean. And through that, we can start elevating everybody's energies, not just our own, right? So in some ways, it's also a service to ourselves and to humanity, right? To become this clearing, to become this cleanse. And also from there, it's conscious spending, because what conscious people spend money on and what everybody else spends money on are not the same thing. So we're going to start supporting the right kinds of businesses. So you give a lot of money to a lot of very good people, and you can change this world in a decade, I believe. And that is why, like personally, why I love teaching money and manifestation to people from a spiritual perspective, despite the fact that I know what I'm walking into is all of this cacophony and all of these prejudices around how money is not spiritual, how money is evil, how money is bad, and God forbid you touch money, and Jesus never charged for his services, and all of these other things that I've also had to work through and come to terms with. And yet I realized that money is just such a fundamental topic that, like, how can we talk about higher chakras, like a higher ideals, like if you can put the money on the table or the food on the table for your children? Like we couldn't. Like that's the base, the absolute base. Like 100% of what I say is not going to matter if somebody cannot feed their family. Nobody's going to meditate if they don't have, like none of it. Nobody's going to follow, their heart. Like, because like technically, if you don't have the money, that means that your security is not even there. So that means that the root center is not working. All of my work starts at the heart and up. Most of my work, I should say, starts at the heart and up. Like forget about it. Like, people are not even going to want to open their hearts if this one very fundamental thing is not fixed. So for you, the little archway of light, receiving that, and knowing that the energy of money is also the energy of the mother. It's the energy of the divine feminine. And so, yes, like, who, if not women, can take the money and finally cleanse it? Because it's our native energy. All of the energy of abundance, look at planet Earth, nature, that's the most abundant thing that there is feminine, right? At least on our planet, Mother Gaia is feminine. It's a feminine spirit. So part of the reason I feel like that society is where it's at is because a lot of women don't perceive that energy is clean or clean enough, and they don't kind of want to like have it and own it in the way that we could, and emanate it in the way that we could, and make decisions around it in the way that we could. And I mean macro scale, like big investments, not just like bread and butter and coconut milk.
That makes all the sense in the world. And would you say that once you practice this cleaning energy, it'll kind of clear up the mental confusion?
Yes, because when you allow, it's like you're a vessel, and your energy, instead of going down, is getting stuck. So it goes sideways instead of down. It goes sideways, left, right, left. That's what like overthinking feels like. You're like, I don't know, is this it? And even how you described it, like, should I get a degree? Should I not? It's like, it's this thing, because
it's like being pulled in two completely different directions, and there's just no movement at that point.
That's exactly right. Because that's the only way the energy, because if it's not safe for your body to receive the energy, it's just going to keep circling around in like a vicious circle back and forth. When you actually feel, like when you put the little archway, and when you feel this energy is actually safe for your body to receive, the movement down is going to happen. And that energy, instead of just going into your mental activity, is going to go into all of the other activities that you're meant to be doing. Or just other energies, like it'll go into your sacral center, create, I don't know, make creativity happen, make artistry happen in your life, make pleasure happen in your life, do all the other things, attract, manifest, magnetize, instead of overthink. Because if your energy doesn't go down your body, there's only so much it can do in your brain. Your brain cannot literally do anything else other than think, right? But imagine what's possible for you if that energy was going down, because it's not just your sacral that doesn't receive that energy. Your throat doesn't receive enough energy. Your heart does not receive enough energy. Your belly does not receive, like solar plexus doesn't receive enough energy. It's all interconnected. Make sense?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Since we're in the topic of money, some of you guys know this, some of you don't. I will be teaching a full-on course in January called Thrive. I've been birthing it for a year. It's like a 3-week program, literally birthing it for a year. And I'm like, I'm ready now. Like, it's already blowing my mind what's going to come through. So it's 3 weekends. The first one is all about abundance and the feminine energies, and how it is time for us to freaking reclaim our abundance already as women, because Gaia has, and I'm pretty sure we can as well. So abundance is all about like diving into the whole feminine masculine and finding that like middle ground and understanding like, where am I repelling instead of attracting subconsciously? Because our feminine energies, they don't work actively, they work in the background. And that's why sometimes it's so hard to catch them doing the wrong thing, because it's our masculine that's like all over and very seen, and our feminine is like sometimes very quiet. So that's day one. Day two, like the second weekend, is going to be specifically just around money. And we're going to look at money from every single angle possible. And the intention for that day is for you to release all of your blocks. A lot of them are going to be ancestral, just because we have had so many generations of people that did not experience that as a good energy or as a plentiful energy. And by the way, there is shame around having money, shame around not having money, guilt around having money, guilt around not having money, fear of having money, fear of not having money, fear of losing money. There's like all of these feels. Just with this one subject, I feel like money triggers every single chakra. It's really, really funny. And then the third day is manifestation, specifically manifestation from your masculine energies, manifestation from your feminine energies. Since I wrote my book in 21, I've like been downloading so many other things. And it's like, I have now a broader perspective of how to even leverage the keys from 72 keys to manifestation. And when I was tuning in And it's really hilarious because like I have a lot of experience with the energy of money in this lifetime. Like I have a lot of experience with like fundraising and, you know, going from 0 to like 9 figures plus and like all of this stuff. And so I asked myself, like, how am I going to teach this course? And so I tapped into my, you know, to spirit. And they told me, Mariya, you're going to teach this course the way the divine would teach about money. And I'm like, that makes so much sense to me. Because how the divine would explain to us the energy of money and the energy of abundance is not how a 3D human would explain that to you, irrespective of how much that 3D human has. Because I'll tell you this, like I've had my business for many years prior to my awakening. And, you know, I had the degrees and like all of the pieces of paper to prove that like I'm with it and I can be the business owner. Mattered not. Because when spirit came in, oh my God, they kicked my butt so hard. Oh my God, in every which way. And I went from it being so hard, like I could cry and like tear my hair out and like get gray hairs all the time, to be like, why is it so easy? With what spirit told me. So like at this point, it's like really funny, but like we think spirit is like not like spiritual things have nothing to do with material things, but spirit can advise us on money better than anybody that's currently incarnated, which was like the biggest like mind-blowing situation for me. I was like, how do you guys know all this? This makes no sense. Aren't you supposed to be all about like love and light and like not talk about the evil energy of money? And like they're just laughing. But essentially, this is what I'm meant to do, and this part of my dharma. And like, if you guys are called to dive deeper with me, you know, we're going to do this in January, and the info is up on my website. So if you want to go check out there's a blue, why am I saying bluebird? It's early bird. There's the early bird offer is still up. That's it. I'm getting off my, you know, whatever, you know, getting off my chair. I feel like I was like a 5-year-old pitching you on this very exciting idea. And now I think we're ready to get back to the questions. If you feel complete, Tara.
I do. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's go next. Srinella. Srinella?
Crinella.
Oh,
Hi.
Hi. When this started,
I see you always commenting on my YouTube videos.
Yeah, sometimes I comment and delete because I'm so afraid to express myself. But I felt so much resonance, and since the moment your video started, you've changed my life. I just wanted to say that. Sorry. And my heart was very emotional and sensitive. Wait a second. I cannot see. Okay. And when this started, my heart was beating so fast. I was so afraid to speak in front of a group. I was so afraid to be seen. And I'm hiding in my life. I set the intention to whatever is in the highest good to us to contribute, because I had no idea. And I just don't know what blocks me in my life. I have no energy. I had a spiritual awakening, but I have no energy. I financially am very low. I'm dealing maybe family karma, maybe past lives, maybe my choices. I don't know what blocks me, but I feel like it's a big water and I don't know how to overcome it. And I want to do good, and I don't know. I don't know what is my mission, my path. Is it spirituality? Is it something else? Because my gifts are not, I thought when I started seeing your videos, I thought this is for me. I had, before spiritual awakening, I didn't believe in something else. I was completely shut off, maybe to protect myself. But once I had awakening, I thought maybe spirituality is my path, because I feel like I understand deeply things, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Sorry for this.
No, don't apologize. Thank you for bringing all of you here. And I so appreciate you. And I feel like your soul family, just so know that you're seen and loved. Really. The unwinding of everything that you just mentioned starts with one thing for you. There is a strong pattern and archetype for you called the victim. And you've lived it many, many, many lifetimes. You like have a PhD in victim. Truly you do. And in a way, it's a great service for humanity for somebody to live this much victim over so many lifetimes. But of course, this is the closing of the cycle. And that is when your bird is meant to fly.
Yes, but I don't know how.
Yeah, you know how? You know how? We're not going to do it together, but like some of you may do it afterwards. By the way, I think it was a free meditation. I have a victim meditation on our sacred universe. I think it's free. I don't remember because like we changed its statuses, but that's the one for you. And by the way, so what they're showing me right now is you have multiple cages. It's like cages upon cages upon cages upon cages. And you have like almost like 100 aspects of your soul scattered in all of these cages. And, you know, being caged by stepmoms, by men, you know, a lot of lifetimes we experience slavery, you know, where you like even human trafficking, like really, you know, your sovereignty taken away from you in all of these ways. And your spirit is very pure because of that. So like one thing I want you to understand is why you did this. Is because you wanted to feel the depth of pain so you could then transmute it into the depth of love. That's the why. That's the why, because you are love, and that's what you're here to bring. That's your purpose, to bring love. However, you're not going to be able to do that from a place of being in a cage, because love is a very empowered and liberated state. And so the practice that you need to do in meditation is first connect to all of these cages that are around you, whether these cages are yours or from your ancestors. And start opening the doors on all of these cages and letting yourself out. And really paying attention what parts of you, what pieces of you are staying in all of these cages. And then when you open all of these doors, understand that all of these parts of you that are starting to come out of cages are starting to form into one being, like the true you. And that is the part that needs to come back into your heart and integrate. And that's, it feels to me like 112 different aspects need to come back. It doesn't mean that you need to do the cage situation 112 times. Some of them could unpack as a series, like as a like a bulk upload, so to say. But you're going to really have to go and collect those parts. And really, the start is as simple as this spiritual exercise. It's as simple as that, because a lot of them are past lives related. And, you know, technically all of this is up in the Akashic records. So nobody's holding you back hostage in those lifetimes other than a memory.
Yeah.
And what I invite you to do is to write a new story for yourself and call it a story of liberation. And even in this lifetimes, you probably feel like you're quite in a few cages. Like maybe health is holding you back. Maybe financial situation is holding, your family is definitely holding you back. You have all of these stories. So allow yourself to write the story of liberation, of how, like literally, you put that into writing. I release myself from the cage of my family. And then write whatever needs to come down. Like in what way, what does that mean for you? And how you think they haven't caged you, right? Because here's the thing. Nobody can make you remain a victim. It's a choice. And by the way, in this lifetime, your choice is to liberate. And once you actually rewrite your story and allow yourself to bring all of those little shards of your soul back into your wholeness, all of them fit into your heart. It's actually really funny because I'm writing a song about the many pieces, the many shards of the heart and how they're coming together. Beautiful song. I don't know when it's going to come out. Whenever, one day. And that's what I feel for you. It's like all of these parts. It's like soul retrieval, only in your case, it's heart retrieval. And it's from every single lifetime where you have been abused, or you have been caged, or you like your freedom, your sovereignty was taken away from you. Your choice was taken away from you.
Is it also related to the witch wound or in any way?
Partially. But as I'm looking at the vast map of everything you've been through, the witch wound is like 8%. And then there's the 92 of everything else. The witch wound is certainly there, but it's not the only thing.
And the thing is that I try to do a lot of healing. I followed most of the courses that you had on throat chakra and everything, and my wings. I try to do, but whenever I try to meditate, I feel like a lot of fear, darkness, I don't know, like blocked, and I try to hold this vibration to cleanse, but I feel like I don't know if attacked or it's my own fear, or I don't know what's going on, that I have this resistance to facing traumas or to facing the wounds or the parts of me that
we're going into interesting territory. There is something above your lineage that is connected to dark entities. It's not connected to you specifically, but it's some pretty serious dark magic. This dark magic cannot prevent you from liberating yourself. But here's how you get a little bit. I'm going to give you a little ritual that's, and if you guys are resonating with this, for whatever reason, it needs to come through. If you feel like you have some lineage karma around dark magic, and every time you're doing the work, you feel like they're not giving you a clearing, even to get your healing in, here's what's going to work. Buy a piece of charcoal. They sell charcoal, right? Like that you can put, I don't know, like in the burners or whatever. Maybe like buy even a few, because like they're showing me one big one, but I'm not sure you can get like this big charcoal in a regular store. So maybe get like 3 small ones. And then imagine that, all of that darkness is being absorbed, like all of the darkness that you're feeling in your aura, in your family, is being absorbed by those charcoals. Charcoal is extremely absorbent. It's one of the most absorbent materials. Sometimes if you have food poisoning, you eat a few charcoal pieces, and the charcoal just absorbs everything, even physically from your body, it would absorb the toxins. That same property is amplified etherically. Charcoal is extremely porous. So you're going to take that, you're going to go into nature, and you're going to bury it in the ground and give it to Mother Gaia, trusting her that she's going to remove that so that you can at least do your work, so that at least these things are not in your field creating all of these distortions. Do that as a ritual, and that should at least help you move forward with your healing. This specifically is not going to completely get rid of all the black magic in your lineage, but it creates a clearing for you to see the light of day and to be able to do the work that you're here to do. So that's what I would offer for you. Yeah, you are beautiful. That in the chat, I don't know if you're able to read, but people are like, you're such a beautiful soul, and thank you for sharing, and you got this. Honestly, you got this. I believe in you. I can totally see the vision of you soaring like a bird and being like, this is all behind me.
I don't know which direction I'm healing. It's all I see, but
and that's the thing. Remember how I told you were love? Yeah. Love is how you interact with people. Love is the feeling that they get when they're around you. Love is something that can really help children. I see you working a lot with children. However, the first person you're meant to help is yourself, because you can only be loved from your empowered state.
Yes.
Right. And so, yes, the only thing you're meant to see right now is healing, because that is step 1, and it's a massive, big, huge step. And once you do it,
is there a way to manifest money if I keep healing it? Because I am financially low. I'm like, I don't know how to survive. I do not like my job. I'm struggling every day. If I just have to heal, how can I sustain myself? How can I do what I love? That's a big blockage that I don't know.
What is it that you love to do? And also, how have you been making money until right now?
Just working a job that I don't like, reception work, but I hate every day. I do not. It's okay. I'm paid. I should be grateful, but I just want freedom. I want to do, I don't know, maybe work online, something online that does not make me interact with people, because I get drained by everything. I isolate myself a lot. It was not before awakening. It was not like that, but now I'm isolating a lot. I don't know. I really don't know.
You're isolating because people don't feel safe to you. Anybody with a victim mentality like yours is going to be guarding you. Like, who is the next perpetrator? Who is the next one's going to put me on the cage? I don't know. They're male, they're female, they're young, they're old. They could be anything. They could be a demon. You're like, let me guard from everything. So there's a little bit of that. I don't have a direct answer to you, what would be a good job for you right now. I know that the purpose for you is a healer. That's you. You heal with love, and through touch, through Reiki. Have you tried Reiki?
I felt called. I have some courses that I wanted to take, and I was like, Reiki came into my mind, and then sometimes I'm like, no, I'm not meant to do that. I'm like, I have some resistance.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? Because while this dark energy is really all over your auric field, you
I'm
also
afraid.
don't want to.
I'm very afraid of all spirituality. I try to take it very slow because it comes to me, and I have to protect. I got attacked many times, and I have to protect and ask my angels and guides and pray at all times to feel safe. At all times.
No, I feel you. The cages should start helping. Just do that, right? Because there are a lot of entities that are feeding on your fear, and it's not even fear in this body. It's the fear of all of these parts. Once they're released from cages, you're going to experience a lot less fear in this moment, because it's just going to be fear for this life in this lifetime, and not 300 other ones, however many.
The love, like, as long as you have love, you have the power to do it all, because we run out of love. And whenever I have very deep dreams, and in the dream, all I remember, they showed me drop into your heart. They showed me green, drop into your heart, like go into your heart. I also had a dream in which I was speaking light language, and then I get attacked after that. In my dream, I have to stop because I get attacked by some energy. So I have a lot of strange.
Have you tried hugging the energy that attacks you in a dream?
I'm terrified.
No, but you're love.
Yes, that's true. If I'm
Just
love,
remember who you are.
And maybe
I'll tell you this. I was so scared as a little baby to go to sleep because I would see nightmares all the time. And then with time, I realized that, no, I don't have to be afraid of those guys. And, now like I hug them when they come. And, you just transmute darkness through love. That's how you do that. Even exorcisms are done through love. That's how you exorcise a demon, through love. And by the way, you know what another thing that love can do? It can turn a demon into an angel. I wouldn't be telling you this if I haven't personally done that many times over. Many times over. It's very easy, very possible. It's easy. So next time they're trying to attack you, you'll be like, I'm love. And if you emanate that, which you already are from your heart, nothing can touch you. You're untouchable. Truly, you are.
So then why did I choose this lineage?
Why did you choose this arrangement?
This lineage, because I had a lot of traumatic trauma, and I know my father, my mother, and everything that happened.
Well, your soul wants to get through, wants to close out a lot of karma in this one lifetime.
Yeah,
You're ready.
I feel like I took it all.
Yeah, you took it all. Yes, you took it all. You're like, I'm just gonna do it all in one lifetime.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm shocked. I'm like, if I can take it, sometimes I'm down, and I'm like, if I chose it, I can take it. Like, and I follow you. I'm like, you until Swan, you're like, I follow you, and I'm like, I can do it. I can do it.
You can do it. I'm telling you, like, I was so afraid of these demonic entities when I was a kid. So afraid. Like my dad, I don't know why my dad, he's an amazing human, but he figured out I was afraid of the dark. And so, I was like a little kid, and he would, like, if I would misbehave, he would lock me in, like, in the dark bathroom, close the door. I would scream bloody murder. It was so, because like I could see them, I could feel them. I'm like, I'm not alone in here. So I went from that to hugging demons and turning them into angels. And I'm telling you, it's possible. And like, you already carry that same vibration. You have it.
Just so still and love. It's hard to believe this. So nice. Thank you so much.
Yeah, just don't remember, remember, you don't need to become it. You already are it.
Yes.
You already are it.
I didn't even thought I would speak today. I was like, my heart was beating, and I don't see spirit guides, but I try to feel or connect to them. And like, I ask my guardian angel, I try to see, like, maybe it's meant to be, maybe it's not meant to be. I just let it.
It's meant to be. Sergey knows what he's doing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. We go into the next one.
Yes, going to the next one. I saw, sorry, I was like looking at some questions. Somebody was asking, Kanika was asking, are there extra things to buy after the 3-day Thrive workshop? You guys are you living in the future? One thing I forgot to tell you about the workshop is that I was planning on recording, and it's actually part of the workshop. I'm going to record transmissions of like abundance and wealth and money that you're going to get at the end of the workshop, so that you can listen to them over and over and over again, because the power of the mindset is so important in this. And it's all nice and well to be feeling like excited when you're on the phone call with me, right? Because it's like I'm sharing that energy and you're like, yes, I'm ignited. And then, you can come back and you're like, okay, and now I'm feeling sad again, or like, and now I feel like money is evil again. And that's why you will have those transmissions to listen to over and over and over again. So your mind gets reprogrammed. And so your body now starts taking that, abundance as the new core frequency. So that would be like what's after the workshop. And my intention is for you to listen to those transmissions over and over and over again. So hopefully that helps. And yes, we're ready to go to the next one.
Awesome. Siri Gurudev.
Thank you, Sergey, and thank you, Mariya. As many people have said, you also have changed my life for good. So I'm really grateful. Yes. And well, I wanted to ask on the topic of life purpose and career. And I am just also putting an intention right now that my question serves a lot of people, as many as possible right now. I migrated to this country 7 years ago, and it was really hard and running archetype for sure. And then, I finally finished my degree, my PhD, and got into what is supposed to happen to you, which is a tenure track job in a university. But when I'm here, realizing that I'm not happy, that I'm not serving the community I'm supposed to serve, I don't feel seen, and I'm just kind of confused as to what I'm supposed to be doing. What was my purpose? What are the things that I enjoy doing that like bring good things to other people? Like I know I need a change, but I don't know where to go. And it feels like a big jump into the nothingness of I don't know even what. So I guess I was like, how can I have more clarity on what is my purpose and what I came here to do? How can I serve others the best way possible?
I love it. I have a very specific answer and then I have a very general answer. I'm going to give you both. What have you tried though? What do you do for work, if you don't mind me asking?
So I'm a writer and I have been writing things. I also have a YouTube channel for spirituality. I'm a professor, like I'm a teacher. So I have tried many different things, but I don't know what is the thing that that is the biggest one or something like that. I don't know.
I love it. Okay. So a lot of people, this is the general thing, but it's still awesome. Don't worry. A lot of people think they're not on the path when they actually are. Seriously. And that's your story. It's so funny. But because like people are like, okay, well, if this is the big purpose, every door is gonna align, it's gonna feel so easy, or like it's gonna feel so fulfilling. Every day I'm gonna come back home like I'm fulfilled today. Not really. Not really. I don't know who put that in our collective consciousness, that that's how purpose is supposed to feel. Purpose feels every which way, to be honest. Sometimes like I'm being advised personally on purpose all the time by my spirit guides. And so like I've lived times like prior to my awakening where I had no idea what my purpose was. And now where I have like entirely too much information down to when I'm 82 years old. Trust me, like knowing what my purpose is still gives me an entire roller coaster of emotions in the meantime. And not every day feels fulfilling. Sometimes it actually is terrible. And I'm like, what am I doing? And then the guys are like, remember, that's your purpose. I'm like, oh, yeah, right, about that one. So purpose is a very complex subject. In fact, if I ever were to teach a course in it, which I'm resisting, and my guys are like, trying to like inspire me, there are 7 layers of purpose. There's not just one. Like there is your occupational purpose. There is the purpose that you have for your lineage. There is what they're calling the magnum opus, which is like essentially a term that they use from alchemy, which is like this one big work. Like what is your legacy? What are you leaving behind? For some people, it's a child. For other people, it's like a book, like it depends. Like there are 7 layers to purpose. The thing is, you don't need to know it all because intuitively you already are being led. Like intuitively, like probably 100% of you are on your purpose. It's just the thing is because it hasn't been formulated to you very clearly and just put in your head that this is your purpose. It's very hard for you to acknowledge and merge the reality with the expectation of what purpose feels like. So when you just started talking, you have an artist archetype. You like that's your purpose, to share your art with the world. right? Now I'm spelling it out for you. But if we look at your life, you have been living it. You have been writing. That's a form of artistry, right? Is that the only type of art that you can share with the world? Absolutely not. I can actually see a little bit of a painter in you. I don't know if you have painted, but they're showing me you with like a brush, like literally playing with colors. That could be something additive, that's a hobby, I don't know, or maybe it's a career down the road, who knows? But allow yourself to explore everything around this artist that's in you, because it's very strong. But the thing is, you already are living it. So I feel like you've been trying to get somewhere, but realize you're already there. And it's funny because prior to like 2 hours ago, 2 hours before coming on this call, I had this download about expectations, where I was like looking at my reality just like in a short time frame, in a short moment. And I was like, okay, my expectations are not matching what I'm seeing. And that was creating suffering for me. And I realized if I remove the expectations of how things are supposed to feel, my life is amazing. Like that's the one thing that removed 100% of my suffering, was just removing the expectation. So remove the expectations from yourself of like needing to be perfect and needing to get it right, because you are intuitively already getting it right. There was nothing wrong about your path, and there's nothing wrong now. It's just, it feels like there is an expectation of how purpose is supposed to feel. And you're like, and mine is not feeling that way. Like whatever I'm doing right now doesn't feel that way. By the way, yes, is there a time when you may not feel fulfilled? And that is a complete, detour. Like it's a moment. Yes, it happens for people. People, sometimes work jobs that are really not meant for them, that are really not a part of their archetype. It's still a part of their purpose, though, to go through that experience, For you, though, you are actually living it. And so just being present and understanding that being in purpose doesn't always mean fluffy rainbows and unicorns. Sometimes being in purpose feels exactly how you're feeling right now. And I'm seeing a whole lot more creations for writing, and your throat chakra is already very expressive. But there is something when you drop into the sacral, and that's where the painter lives, that you're gonna, because like your artist right now that you've been practicing is the masculine artist. Your feminine artist wants to come out. There are many different shapes of feminine art. And like she likes playing with colors, maybe she likes crochet, I don't know. It's for you to discover. But like doing something with your hands, maybe it's pottery, like something like a form of art that's really going to engage your femininity. And I'm not saying that's a career, but it's the next path for your soul to start feeling a little bit more fulfilled, because you're not meant to box yourself into just one thing. Remember, you're all of these things. And really, in my mind, I think our level of happiness is correlated to how many parts of ourselves we have heard and embodied within. Because if you have all of these parts that are unheard and they're like, have all of these unmet needs, then you as a whole, that's a container for all of these parts, you're going to have unmet needs. But if you look at all of these parts and you're going to start meeting their needs, that's when you reach the highest level of happiness, because every aspect of you gets airtime.
Makes sense. Maybe if I can, like, just the last part, last bit. Well, because I feel like the work that I have right now is not fulfilling. It's like there's not enough for me to have a job just to have the money that I wanna. Whatever I do, I wanna feel kind of fulfilled. Again, not idealizing, but like I wanna like my job, right? Is that like a legitimate wish, or like is that something that that I have that should I continue looking for the job that I love, or
yes, why settle? No, why settle? Absolutely. The thing is, there is a little bit of a part of you, it's like a negative belief that says, I'm not going to get paid for what I truly love. Like it's a negative belief up here, like in the mental. And so it's almost like, if I want to get paid, I better do something that I'm not enjoying. And so in other words, like you may write about topics that maybe you're not ignited by, or for like a publication that your values are not aligned with, because what's running on autopilot here is like, there's just a core belief that's like, I cannot have both at the same time. I cannot have the money and the job that I love, because that's too much. And that's a fairy tale scenario. And I'm in the real world. I'm rooted in the real world. And that's actually past life stuff. where like a little bit of suffering coming through, the suffering artist that ended up doing the wrong things. Well, not the wrong things, but doing the things. It was actually, ironically, a painter who was painting portraits, but really because they had not expensive, rich benefactors that wanted their portraits. But this artist hated portraits. And by the way, the rich people that they had to paint all day, every day, those people's values were not aligned with that artist. And what your artist wanted to paint was nature. And you're like, but that doesn't freaking pay the bills. Me sitting on this like little, I don't know, little broken tree branch and painting this lake is not going to sell as much as this fancy lady with her freaking dog that barks loudly. And that's like, and so you're like, it's like they're different. Like getting paid and enjoying your job is different. Ironically, as an artist, your creations, the ones that you're meant to bring in this lifetime, are the ones that are going to be valued so much, it's going to blow your mind how much people want to pay you for that. You're going to be like, I didn't know that was real. Can you guys give me like plus signs if you believe that in order to get paid, or in order to get paid a lot, you have to do something you don't like, or like you need to settle, like you cannot have it all. There's something in there, like where I have to pick and choose. Okay. So I'm just showing me. Sahara is showing me the plus side. I love it. Okay. So we're going to do a quick rewriting of that core belief. Are you guys ready? This is very simple, very quick. You can do that on any negative core belief of yours. Close your eyes and imagine that there is a cloud above your head. And this cloud says, I cannot have it all. I have to choose. Yeah, you all have some form, shape, or version of that. Now, if we are looking to erase that belief, I invite you to literally take an eraser and remove that writing off of that cloud. Just remove it. Just allow yourself to remove that core belief. And if that thing is not coming off, you can remind yourself, I am safe in this moment. I trust myself. And I trust the process. I trust divine guidance, that I won't be led astray in this moment. And I choose with my free will to rewrite this belief. And from there, keep erasing if there is anything still in that cloud. I'm assuming most of you are done. Now you're going to take a golden, or you imagine that you're taking a golden marker. And with that golden marker on that cloud, or in a different cloud, doesn't really matter, as long as it's an empty cloud above your head, find an empty cloud and write a new belief for yourself with golden marker. This new belief, I will offer you a version, but it can be whatever you choose it to be. The version that I am proposing for you is, I can have it all. I can have it all. Imagine writing that with a golden marker on your cloud. I can have it all. And now take that cloud into your heart space. Just almost imagine that your heart is like sucking that cloud in, down, 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 down into your body. And then allow that belief, that I can have it all belief, to go all over your body, up, down, to the sides. Every cell of your body can get saturated with this, I can have it all. No more choosing. No more suffering. No more modern day slavery at the job that is not fulfilling, because you can have it all. You're worthy. And just have that really almost like rewrite the framework of your body, so that your body now encapsulates this new belief, so that your body now holds it. And this is how it's done. You can open your eyes. Next time, if you feel like there is like a negative belief that you'd like to write, you can use this. It's very effective as a practice. Sergey, I know there are people that have their hands up, but they haven't been added to panelists. So do you mind just adding a few more people so that it's, free, equal opportunity, equal opportunity environment?
Yeah, I do keep adding. It's just
Yeah.
there is a limitation and I cannot see more than 50 people. So that's why I'm adding and removing. Yeah, and
Oh, I
I'm
see.
constantly adding, but I can
Okay.
unfortunately cannot add you guys all. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, somebody says I don't know how to put my hand up. It's on the bottom of your screen. There's this black stripe, and it says like raise a hand with like a little hand pictogram on the bottom of Zoom. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's pick the next one.
Awesome, let's do it. The next one is gonna be Sylvia.
Hi, oh my, just as I thought, my name, boom. Hi, I'm so
Hi.
grateful for both of you and for the work you do. It's an honor actually to be here and to speak to you. You really inspire me in my work. So my question is, I did a lot of energy healing on the money blockages. I have some issues receiving money doing my spiritual work. I did a lot of energy healing on that, but it still feels like I am not attracting clients, or if I am attracting, I feel like I should give them a big kind of discount. Like, I feel bad to receive money that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Your issue is in the solar plexus. So it's a self-worth issue, right? The solar plexus is a masculine chakra. If you're looking to heal the masculine chakra, always look to your father. Because there's something around there that is not fully harmonious. Always, always, always. Another thing, when your solar plexus hurts, there's always something that's damaged with your relationship with the sun. So it could be people that burn easily or just don't enjoy the sun. It could be, maybe you just dislike yellow. It could be like, it can manifest in all kinds of things. So self-worth issue is actually, it's an interesting, it's a potentially deep trauma. What's interesting about self-worth that a lot of people don't recognize is that it's a duplicate trauma. And the twin of low self-esteem is actually pride. So everybody who experiences low self-worth also experiences pride. I'll explain what that means. Pride is when you're looking at somebody and you're like, I think I could do this better than them. Or you're like, ooh, well, is that the best work they can do? Ooh, okay. I don't know. I can do so much better than that. Like when you're judging them a little bit and when you're like, oh, I'm better than this, right? So that's pride. I have found, because like I have a deep set, now very, mostly healed, but I came into this life with a deep set self-worth issue. And empirically speaking, from my experience, when I was going through fixing the self-worth, it felt like a void, like a black void of like, I couldn't know how to fix it. I didn't know how to fix it. I'm like, every which way I'm trying to approach it, it like the void just eats up all of my light and like things just drop in it and disappear. And I'm like, okay, how do I work with this? So here's like kind of like how I perceive this. Pride is like a mountain that you can see. But low self-worth is the abyss and you don't know how low it goes. And that's why it's so hard to deal with low self-worth, because you don't know how deep the rabbit hole is. And usually it's very deep. A lot easier to deal with things that are above the surface and you can see. So I found that when I catch me on my pride, my self-worth takes care of itself. Kind of. Because usually low self-esteem is actually a response mechanism that's triggered by the universe when there's a little bit of pride in the person. It's like an instant karmic payback, if you know what I mean. So if you stop exhibiting anything at the level of pride, you're going to stop exhibiting anything at the level of low self-worth. Works like magic. And so I started, and again, I retrained my brain to stop pretending like I'm better than anyone, because that's what the brain does, than anyone about anything. And then I realized the universe has nothing to punish me for. And so I don't feel my low self-esteem anymore. In fact, I feel balanced. Does it make sense?
Well, I think it does make sense. I am putting so much pressure on myself to actually the perfectionism, like to learn everything, taking so many courses, doing like spending tons of time on Canva to be perfect. Like, yeah. So
yes, that's exactly right. Perfectionism goes hand in hand with pride, hand in hand. Because now you really have a reason to say, well, I'm better than that other person. Because look, everything is pixel perfect. I have no errors anywhere. This is like fantastic. So now you have a reason to believe that these other people that have errors and that are not pixel perfect, they're not as good as you.
Yeah, but it burns me out actually. So
of course, because that's not the true you. The true you is love. And like anything that's not that is depleting. Depleting, because you're like fighting with all these parts about yourself within yourself that are telling you, oh, you're not perfect, you have to be better, you have to be better, which is a response mechanism to pride. That being said, so remember how at the beginning of this we did the parts work exercise, like with us being in our throats. So there are parts for every person that is experiencing either pride or self-worth. There are many parts within us that are experiencing those things. So what you need is actually parts work. And that's probably the quickest way to heal from something like this. We're not going to do it right now, but you can refer to how we did it at the beginning. So you have probably many parts that don't feel adequate, and you have many parts that feel a little bit better than others in certain things, not in everything. But as a good perfectionist, you probably have perfected a lot of things. So you have a reason to believe you're better at those things than others. Integrating them through parts work, seeing all of them, because both of these parts have unmet needs, right? And just integrating them through that parts work exercise, like I see you, I witness you, and essentially now I'm in charge, I'm the parent, you don't have to worry about that, is going to bring you a lot of relief, because they're going to stop creating distortions in your field. And then another thing, just from the etheric perspective, just placing the sun inside of your belly and just enlarging it and doing like breathing with the sun. Every time you take an exhale, the sun just enlarges and expands in your body, and like getting comfortable with that energy is also very, very healing to the solar plexus. But I would say that's a cherry on top of everything else you're going to do.
Well, I am actually talking to the sun almost every day when I go outside. I am crazy about sun, always like I can spend hours looking at the sun. So is it just the solar plexus that is not kind of absorbing sun energy, or?
What is your relationship with your father?
Well, so my dad left when I was little.
That's what it is. You cannot get enough of dad, is why you're trying to replace him with the sun. But what your body wants is the dad. Does it make sense? Because that's like, you have an overactive, like we had another lady earlier today with an overactive throat. Overactive is also not balanced, right? So when I say a problem, it doesn't mean that it's always malnourished. Sometimes it's like too much in certain places and not so much in others. So in your case, there's a little bit of that, again, abandonment and not being, fully acknowledged by father again. And so you're missing that. It's almost like your solar plexus doesn't feel supported by father, by dad. And because it doesn't feel supported, you're trying to get it in a vicarious way, one way or another. Realize, though, that when you feel an external masculine is not supporting you, it's because an internal masculine is not supporting you. Inside of us, we have two energies, right? The masculine and feminine. Somehow you feel like your internal masculine is not reliable. Like you feel like you're feminine, you can rely on, but your masculine, sometimes there's a lot of it, maybe too much, sometimes there's not enough, and you can never really fully tell which one is going to go. So it's like a roller coaster ride with your masculine. You're like, hello, are you going to show up to pay the bills this time? I'm not so sure. Or is my woman going to pay the bills again? So it's a little bit like that. And for that, I find it very healing in a meditative state to meet both of these parts and actually take a look. Because usually when somebody is like with your masculine specifically, and with masculine energies that feel MIA like that, they feel underappreciated is what it is. So why would they be present all the time if they feel they're getting beat up on? And that's how your masculine feels. It's like step one is fully accepting your masculine, the way it is showing up for you, and saying, you know what, the way you are is perfect and enough for me, because you're enough for me. Coming from love again, coming back into that love. And then from that, your masculine is going to feel like, oh, now I see there is room for me exactly as I am. I don't have to run away and hide from my own perceived incompetence. I can stay here. This is where I'm accepted. This is where I'm loved. And that becomes beautiful because then your masculine can stay inside of you, really fully, finally meet your feminine in a sacred marriage as equals. And not as mom and child, because that's what it's been, right? And you would notice that when you go through that process in a meditation, your masculine is actually going to grow up. It's going to stop being a little boy that's not reliable. Because true masculine, divine masculine is extremely reliable and pays the bills every single time. I promise.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. All right, let's see who's next.
All right, let's go next. Seb, S-E-B.
Hi.
Hello.
First, thank you, Mariya, for doing this. It's really amazing. I just discovered you recently, and I was watching your videos and everything. It's really, thank you. It's really helpful.
You're so welcome, and so good to have you today.
So I did get some answers already today from other participants, but I still feel like I had ups and downs in my life, I'm talking financially mostly, and was kind of consistently up. But a couple years ago, I left my job, and I had some plans and everything, but didn't go the way it's supposed to go. And I'm kind of stuck somewhere that I don't know where to go, what to do. It's mostly financially because I'm feeling very good. I'm feeling very optimistic, actually. I'm not even scared. And I'm older from most of the people here, so it's kind of, it's a little bit different maybe. But I just don't know what to do to allow the abundance and money and everything coming in.
Mm-hmm. Did you mention that you had a job and it was a good job, and then did you lose it or did you leave? Like what ended up happening?
I left the job because I became very angry. It was corporate, was in, bigger company, and they made me angry. They didn't let me, go further up and everything. And because of that anger, basically, I decided to leave to heal myself. And that was the best decision, because after I left, I started feeling more relaxed and everything, and back to myself. Before that job, I was doing a lot of freelancing, and what I'm doing now too. I'm doing creative things. So, and it's just the industry has changed and everything, but I'm just something that I'm not doing right.
Yeah, I get it. Cool. Yeah. Do you want me to start answering? Or do you want to talk? Tell us a little bit more.
You can start answering. Thank you.
Two things. I think one more more at soul level, and then the one that's very relevant to this lifetime. So at soul level, you actually have a pattern of wanting to lose it all to build yourself back up. It's like something that you like to play. You're a little bit of a gambler. And so
when you hit the bottom.
Yeah. You like actually hitting the bottom, because you're like, and then I'm going to rise up like a phoenix and show all these people what I'm worth. So there's a little bit of that. So like in the moment, you may perceive it as like, well, maybe this is suboptimal, but like actually your soul is thrilled with the ups and the downs. Like, and you've played this game many times, like you find it hilarious. Like upstairs, your soul is like, oh, this is the most fun. Like, what's the point of just like maintaining the status quo? Let's go up and let's go down. And if we go down, let's go real hard. I'm like, let's go to 0. Actually, no, let's go to a minus. Let's get into debt. Like, so then it's really fun from there. Like, you've done all kinds of funny things. And yeah, like you have a little bit of that gambler mentality, which is kind of like really adorable to watch, because you're like one of those people that could like put your entire inheritance on like a roulette table and be like, let's see what happens. So like you just have that streak, which is adorable. Now, in this lifetime, it's a little bit of a different aspect. So what you're dealing with is your inner child. And what you're dealing with is the energy of resentment. So you hold a lot of resentment towards the energies, the people in the company that you left. So you're not really fully broken up. Yeah, you have never fully left. In fact, it's like, because you're in a child's position. Anytime we're taking a child's position towards money, children never have money. They have the parents that buy them stuff, right? Resentment is a very childlike emotion, right? It's not a bad emotion, but it is an emotion it's like a little bit of a tantrum, right? Where you're like, etherically, what they're showing me right now is like, there are all of these people in charge that didn't see your genius. They didn't almost see you for who you wanted to be seen. And now you're really resenting them. And like you're resenting that they didn't see you. And like you're willing to go to great length, including not having money for a while to just prove your point. You have a lot of resilience. Like you're going to really just stick, just like as eventually they'll see. The problem is, again, like the more you're stuck in resentment, the more you're the more you're stuck in the child that's not an adult. And it's the adult that's going to make the money. Like it's the adult energy in the room that's going to attract the right opportunities, the right clients that find you worthy and that pay you not just according to what you think you're worth, but even more, like really big checks, right? But unfortunately, you cannot have it both ways. You're going to have to pick a side. Are you going to be in your child? Or are you going to be in your adult? And if we're choosing that you're going to be in the adult, then what you need to do is witness the child. Because despite the fact that, you know, he's very present in your zone, it's almost like you're bypassing him a little bit and you haven't really faced him fully. Because the same resentment, it's not the first time in your lifetime that you felt this feeling. It's a recurring thing. You felt it so many times. This resentment of like, and again, goes back even to I believe your father too.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So like, that's how he made you feel. So really, you think you're mad at the boss, but you're really mad at dad. And that's what gets you stuck in this resentment pattern. And again, unable to attract money because dad was the person that brought money, not you, right? Because you were the kid and you're not supposed to at the time. But now everything, the tables have shifted, but you're still stuck in that old pattern. So it's first witnessing the inner child and understanding that the unmet need of that inner child is to be seen and acknowledged and like to appreciate the value that that child has. And nobody can do that for you but you. It's like you think dad didn't see you, but you're the first person that didn't see you. Dad was the second person that didn't see you. Does it make sense? And the way you fix it is not with dad, but with you. So finally seeing that child for the creative type, the great creator that they are, the artists that they are, like what else they bring to the table, witnessing them. And then you'll realize that the resentment that this child is holding is not against the boss, not against dad, but against you, who are not acknowledging him, his genius, his worth. And then you would notice that once this is healed, this child, this energy starts growing up and becoming an adult. And then you just give room in your body to embody that adult. And you would notice that the decisions you're making from that are very different. The opportunities that you attract from that are very different because all of a sudden there is an adult in the room and adults totally make money. That's totally cool. It's fine for an adult, not okay for a child. And then I said, I don't know if you saw my first Q&A. We have a recording up on YouTube. For you, also important to write a letter to dad. Yeah, I don't know if you have.
I did once, but it was pretty short because I was listening to something it was suggested because I did had love-hate relationship with my dad since I was a little child. It's absolutely true. And also what he says, angry on the boss, it took me almost a year not to react in my mind when my boss came to my mind.
Yeah.
So I'm
That's exactly
feeling
right.
much better now, but it took me really a while because really made me angry.
Yeah.
Because and so what exercises besides of writing that letter to dad and to to find my inner child and grow as to adult, what kind of exercise do you think I need to do?
I would say that for you is acknowledging all of the parts. It's like when you're acknowledging the child, not just energetically, etherically, you could acknowledge yourself in writing as well. So I actually would recommend that you write 250 things that are great about you.
Okay.
A list of 250 things, and don't stop. Like you may be like, okay, item 75, I think I've said it all. And that's where the unlocks are going to happen, because you're going to be forced to acknowledge parts of yourself that you've never acknowledged before that are good and great and amazing. Right? Because that child, it needs to be nurtured. This baby needs to be nurtured. Right? And it hasn't been by your father. It hasn't been by the world, because the world has just kept triggering the same exact trauma. Right? So, but you get to change the pattern by finally saying, you know what, we're going to turn this around by me acknowledging me, and just keep acknowledging. And by the way, once you do the 250, allow yourself to reread that every so often, because like that's our brains are very tricky. Like we forget all the good things about ourselves when we're stuck in this pattern of like, I'm not good enough, or like they haven't acknowledged that I am. And so like rereading that and really it's almost like creating like a little bit of a victory board for yourself, where you're like, I did this great and I did this great, and really acknowledging yourself and really sending gratitude to you from the bottom of your heart for all the things that you have done and how far you've come. And the fact that you're even willing to do this healing, because most men are not going to want to go there.
Well, I had to hit the bottom.
Which you love to do, let's not forget.
But what I
That's
want
your
to say,
favorite.
it also resonated with me with another who you talked to before, was about perfectionism. That's another problem which I have. I never had bigger expectation from the others than I can do myself. But my criteria is very high. So I am perfectionist, I know, and I'm trying to get out of that, and it's so hard because I was always trying to do the best you can do, But I know that's not the best thing to go.
Perfectionist is actually just a voice in our heads, and usually it's the voice of one of our parents. So in order to deal with your perfectionist, first figure out, is it mom or is it dad?
Is it both?
Or it could be both. Yes, could be both. And then from there, you just realize that whoever that parent is, or maybe both, they're running your life just because it's almost like you took their energy, you encapsulated it, you put that in your brain, because at one point you felt that that's going to protect you. At one point, it literally felt like a protector mechanism, a technique that's going to protect you from messing up in life. Like a strict parent that I'm going to internalize, put in my brain, so they can be with me forever. The problem is, at a certain point, it becomes extremely detrimental instead of helpful, because it's like paralyzing. Like you're paralyzed, and like I cannot step to the left, to the right, to the front without you confronting me and saying this is not good enough, or this is not right, or you could have done better.
Right.
And at that point, it becomes a destructive program. And realize that at one point, yes, it was subconscious, but it was a choice for you to place that there as a program. You can also remove it. It's a choice. So you can literally like encapsulate, like narrow your focus down to that inner critic and be like, thank you. I understand that you are a part within me that's playing the role of mom or dad or both of them right now. I love you. I acknowledge you for all the work that you've done for me, and I'm going to reassign you another task to do. From this day onward, I want you to do, I don't know, be my cheerleader. That's an example. You can choose whatever, right? You can tell me the three things, the three things that are great about me every day. Like just you can reassign a task to a part of yours. And then because technically, and then you just need their okay with that. But usually there is not a lot of resistance because the parts report to you, like you're the boss. And if you're like, stop doing this, do this other thing for me that I really need from you badly, they usually reassign and it clicks. Another thing that may help is just like turning down the volume on that inner critic as if it was a radio. But you're going to have to do that consistently. Like, you're going to have to catch myself in the moment and be like, okay, I'm listening to the voice of dad now. I'm listening to the voice of mom. Tune it down. I'm my own person. I'm my sovereign being. Thank you, mom. Thank you, dad. I know you're helping me, or you think you are, but I know what I'm doing now. And you would notice that over time, it's going to become quieter and quieter and quieter. And at some point, it's like,
it's going to disappear. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to know what comes from me and what comes from somewhere else.
and that's exactly right. I think 100% of us as humans have that, because we have a hard time distancing ourselves from, I call it society or our surroundings. We become really, really enmeshed in everything. And it's a process of weeding out. Like, you find a weed that's not yours, you remove it. It's like the process of weeding out. And unfortunately, there's no like one silver bullet that's going to just remove you from the world.
The work. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mariya. This really helps. And please keep doing your work. And we're going to listen to you.
Thank you. You're so welcome. Thank you for being here,
Thank you.
Candor.
Thank you so much.
All right.
All
Let's do one more before we go into an activation.
All right, let's do it. Rebecca.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me? Hi.
Yes. Hi.
Hi. I just wanted to ask, how do I move into my feminine energy, and how do I remove any creative blockages that I have? And thank you for picking me. I did not expect that.
Well, energy, I don't know if it's going to sound repetitive, but your feminine energy is a part of you. It's just there is a part of you that's resisting it.
Okay.
Anytime you're resisting something, it's because it doesn't feel safe to you. And for you specifically, feminine doesn't feel safe to you. I know, mom didn't feel safe. And women in general don't feel safe, because your soul has this pattern of trauma of being hurt by women. And you have a very, very strong witch wound, my darling. So if you ever, I don't know if you've done my witch wound workshop, but if not, it was like made specifically for you.
Yeah, I think I resist it. Like, I think I know it's for me. I've done other ones, like your throat one, which I'm doing at the moment, and it's helping me a lot. Like, I have a lot of issues with speaking my truth. I'm very much so a people pleaser. Trying to be. But yeah, I'll definitely look at the witch wound one. I definitely feel like I resist that, because it's like I don't want to admit. It's like this big ego thing where I don't even want to admit that I've had past lives, and I know that I have. I do QHHT sessions all the time, and it's just like this resistance where I don't want to step into who I should be because I don't know how to be that person.
But you do. The thing is, your soul remembers. It's just because women don't feel safe to you. It's like you've created all these boundaries and borders and like doors and everything. Like every which way, you're like, don't come near. You're not safe to me. You've hurt me so many times. You've burned me. You like imprisoned me. Like, there's all this trauma around all kinds of women, mothers, sisters in spiritual communities, even daughters, like everything women, female related, grandmothers, like a random woman on the street, like everything can trigger that one for you. And when you're resisting something, it's because there's so much healing in there for you. Your soul may not be ready, because you know what's going to happen is all of these things are going to be released for you to see and witness in that moment, right? And that will feel overwhelming. But I have trust that you're going to be ready. And when you're ready, you're going to come back to that work, because just the fact that you're speaking about this and all of this is coming to the surface is telling me already that you are ready to start sharing that, right? You're ready. Here's the thing. Energy is effortless. It actually takes effort to prevent that energy from not coming in. That's what I want you to get.
Okay.
It actually takes so much of your resource to put up the walls and the borders and everything to ward yourself away from that energy. And just like, so to make it not touch you, you're not wasting, but you're spending a lot of your personal energy and resource just like creating all of these things, right? The moment those are removed, it's very effortless. But of course, for you, it feels very scary. It's like, I cannot control this. This energy is controlling me. that's like that's been your experience. Like the feminine type comes and takes over. And like, whereas a lot of people would have an experience that the feminine is meek, or like, you know, the feminine is gentle, or the feminine is tender. For you, the feminine is dangerous. Like, you're like, what do you mean tender? Like, what do you mean the return of the feminine? It's been here all along and it's cruel. Right? Because that's how you've been perceiving that energy of like, the feminine is cruel. But your soul also remembers how it feels to be in a true sisterhood, does it?
It does. I know that so much, and like all I want is to have like some female friends, and I want to be close to my mom, and I'm close to my daughter, but she's the only one that I seem to be close with because I guess it's my 5-year-old daughter, and how could I not be?
Yeah. And at 5 years old, your daughter feels safe to you. So you feel
She
like
does.
you're
She
in
really
charge.
does.
Yeah. And she's
She just
also a
looks
great,
up to me so much.
yeah, and she's also a great healer for you in this lifetime. Like you definitely have a sacred contract, and she's helping heal your heart, which is really, you have a heart wound here, right? Like a heart wound. Like it feels like there are all of these
Yeah, I
like
do.
metallic objects protruding from your heart. I have a lot of meditations, including free ones, on the heart space. You literally could not overdo them if you tried. Like even if every day for the rest of your life you do a heart meditation, you would still not be overdoing it.
Okay.
Yeah, because you have
That's
all of this
awesome.
trauma, yeah, that needs to be like released and released and released. And just know that wherever you are right now, you are on the path of healing. This is already healing. This is what healing feels like. It's not always
Oh,
pretty.
good.
It's always with like tears and everything, but you're ready to come back into the sisterhood because you had it once and you're going to have it again.
Good.
It's not unattainable for you. And you went on a little detour, but now you're coming back to love. And so you're
That
ready to
sounds
heal
about
all
right.
of
I
it.
like to detour.
Every detour is a learning opportunity. So that's why
Definitely.
that's why you love you love that. But I would say with you, start with a little girl inside of you, because that how you start accepting external femininity is how you start accepting internal femininity. So you start with you first, and acknowledge that as many times as you have had stepmothers that berated you and that put you down, you came back as a stepmother and did the same thing to others.
I believe it. I
Yeah.
believe it.
And we all do, right? Like that's how this
Yeah.
game is played. You want to see it from both sides. And just realize that, and like, but stop pushing that part away from you and stop judging it, because you're in serious judgment of that part of you. Let's call her the cruel lady.
Okay.
And you're like, the cruel lady is not a part of me. But then your world is filled with cruel ladies.
Yeah.
But you're like, let's look within and be like, oh no, I see her. Why is she cruel? Let's go talk to her. And she's cruel because she believes that the best way to defend is to attack. That's why.
Okay.
Because she's actually heartbroken. She's not really cruel. She never has been. She's just been heartbroken.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you realize that, you stop judging her and you come back to love. And you're like, I cannot blame her, because she needs a hug.
Yeah.
She needs a hug and she needs my love. And she's really not cruel. She's just been misread by society.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's not her truth. And that's how you accept that part of you. And you accept her and you love her. You see her. And like, you can even have a conversation. I have conversations with my parts all the time. One thing you can do is you can have 2 chairs, like physical chairs. You sit in one chair and you ask your body, you tune in and you ask your body to embody that with the version of you that's this cruel lady, and allow her to talk, and like allow her to tell her story. Like stuff that may come out of your mouth through this embodiment exercise, you would not believe that. And then you sit on the other chair, right, as the fullness of you, as call it the higher aspect. And you can even do the healing on yourself in that way, because what's going to come from the fullness of your being is going to be medicine to this other part of you. And so, or like, I mean, you can have 5 chairs and 5 different aspects at the same time. That gets a little bit complicated. But like, try the chairs game. And you would notice that a lot of this is very easily expressed when you embody that archetype. Same thing with your little girl, because there is a little girl inside of you that's crying, that just has been on the receiving end of the abuse.
Yeah.
And she also needs a chair. And she also needs for somebody to hear her. And it's not somebody, it's you that she wants, that she wants acknowledgement from, for all the pain and all the suffering. And then you integrate those parts. But you integrate them after you already saw them, after you already witnessed them. Because often with parts, they remain unintegrated because they're somewhere in the dark corner or in the last drawer of our cupboard, and we never go there. We never go there, so they're removed from us, and you're like, you're over there, I'm over here minding my own business. But the moment you give them airtime, that's it. It's already the process of unification coming back to your center, coming back to your fullness. And so even if you just listen to the little girl that's been abused, and if you listen to your cruel lady that has been an abuser and hear both of their perspectives, you'll understand that you are already a receptacle for so much femininity that you have not acknowledged.
Okay.
And then it's going to become easier for you to start removing one wall at a time, one bridge, and build bridges instead of walls.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah?
That's great advice. That's great advice.
Wonderful. How are you guys feeling?
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome, my dear. And know you're loved by your sisters, always. How are you guys feeling? Tired? I know. Yeah, it's like 9:30, so we're gonna do like a quick activation. Somebody's like, deeply touched. Thank you, guys. And like I said, even if it doesn't feel like it relates to you, big chunks of it do, like to parts within you, like whatever you heard during our time together, you were meant to hear. Like it's all aligned, it's all divine orchestration. There's something about your being that needed to hear this. So yes, 100% there, and 100. Everybody's like, yeah, I already recognized it. I'm so glad that you feel it resonated, and yeah, this feels really good to me. I think like we're ready for an activation. This one is probably going to be around abundance and money, so something around thriving. Whatever wants to come through, I always just tune into the energy of the group collectively. So if you're ready for the activation, I just invite you to close your eyes and take a few deep breaths for me. Settling into your center, settling into your core. Now I want you to imagine that above your head is a beautiful golden sun. We're going to call this one the sun of abundance. The reason it shows up as the sun is because there's a lot of collective trauma for some reason around dad in this group. There is a lot of masculine. So we're going to use the power of the sun to heal that. And so you're witnessing the sun. And it's the sun of abundance. Because the sun is actually a proxy for source consciousness, right? So and source has everything they could possibly want. Now I want you to imagine how the sun is descending onto your crown, onto your crown. And the sun operates like a key. It's going to open new dimensions within you of potential in every single chakra. Because there are some things that are locked in your auric fields that are preventing you from experiencing abundance how it's meant to be experienced. And so the sun is just going to create more room in your body, and it's going to unlock what it's meant to unlock. And so first imagine how the sun is literally sitting above your head. And in that, it's starting to create openings in your crown chakra. It's this golden energy getting inside of your crown chakra that looks like a sphere of white light. So if you imagine your crown as a sphere of white light, the sun, like a key, enters this crown space. And I want you to notice how it expands it to the front and to the back, to the left and to the right, creating all of this room. And what it is creating room for is for you to get insight. It is for you to get ideas. It is for you to get aha moments for where your greatest abundance is supposed to come from, so it can be divinely guided. Just allow your sun to get into your field. And if you look around, if there are any closed doors, they're going to look like little closed doors. Know that the sun is the key, the solar energies are the key. And allow this key to open all of these doors one by one by one. And realize there's so much room and so much more space for you to receive. If you're opening a door and something comes out of the door that doesn't feel like it's all light, imagine the sun just gently and softly encapsulating it and turning everything into the energy of golden abundance. You have. Let all of the stuff out of there. Whatever those energies that are sitting there collecting dust, invite them into the center. Acknowledge them and watch how they're turning into light. And then we're going to go down, and the sun is going down to the third eye, the center of your forehead. And as it does, like a key, it opens your third eye. It looks like a violet sphere or a purple sphere. All of a sudden, this sphere expands so that you could receive insight, like intuitive guidance, wisdom from your feminine side around where your abundance is supposed to come from. Or it's going to unlock the wisdom for you to acknowledge the abundance when it's already there. Notice it, right? This gives you the ability to see things that you haven't seen before. Notice the patterns. This really helps open you up to things you didn't know were possible before. And now allow your sun to go down into your throat. Your throat chakra is a blue sphere, and the sun opens it up with a key. And now this space begins to unfold and grow, expand. And the golden energies of the sun are starting to feel the cavity that opens up, this blue space. And for this group in particular, this is a little bit of a pain point moment. A little bit of a pain point. So let the energies of the sun turn liquid gold, like a golden sea or a golden ocean. And allow them to take root in this part of your body, washing away everything in your throat center that needs to be washed or needs to be clean, so you can come into your purpose, so you could recognize your purpose when it's already there or staring you, or if you're already living it, so that you could open up possibility for making massive amounts of money while being on your path and doing what you love, so you could have it all. Because this part of our body is all about purpose and feeling like you're on purpose, feeling like you're doing meaningful work in the world that is aligned with your intention. It's all here. And allow the energies of the sun to expand that. Now, what I'm going to do is a little bit of a light language transmission. Light language is really a transmission from spirit, and it's layered communication. It's always healing, and it's supposed to drop into your heart. You're not supposed to analyze it or try to understand what I'm saying. So just allow yourself to receive that and know that the intention of this light language transmission is to heal your blocks in your throat. Urmoya kautoshu irta aukonuro mawaraya iruraku inta ista orko mayakawa interoi ichinatu otushe kawamate ira anu irtaia irta rawa inoroku ai istimau uchiko parinotu kurini au uko watuaru vanu iri karunotu oshu marueya Marukiri, Intorea, Rau, E. And now allow the sun to move down into your heart space. And if there is any heart wounding, any pieces of your heart, any cracks in there, allow the energies of this beautiful sun to pick up the shards and place them into your heart where they belong, so that your heart can beat as one single organism, so it can beat as the oneness that it represents. And now that the shards are back and your heart is resealed and there are no more cracks or wounds, allow the sun to get straight into the middle of your heart space, this emerald sphere of light, and expand it 10 times. Our heart is our most magnetic organ. Our heart is what connects us to the unity of existence. Our heart is also the seat of our inner abundance, because it is through our heart that we receive the blessings of Mother Gaia, of our planet. It is through our heart that we remember that there is no limit to what we are and what we can do, and no limit to what we can receive other than the limit that we set for ourselves. So allow yourself the audacity to be limitless. And if there are any borders or boundaries or walls that you're perceiving right now in front of you, allow the energies of the sun to wash them away, remove them. They're no longer real. They no longer have to hold you back. All of those are etheric structures that were put by you, so you can remove them as the sovereign being of light that you are. So allow all of these borders and boundaries disappear. Allow any voices that told you that you cannot have something, or that you're going to have to struggle to get it. Allow all of these voices to be drowned in the energies of the Sun of Abundance. Those are not the truth. Lack is not the truth of this universe. It's a temporary state to be transcended and transmuted into abundance. And also feel how your heart opens up with love. And love and abundance are a very similar frequency. They're not so different after all. And so when you are allowing yourself to be love, you are allowing yourself to be abundance. It's that simple. And so just remind yourself, it is safe for me to be love. It is safe for me to trust people. I no longer have to protect myself. I no longer have to build walls. I can trust. And I allow myself to be the love that I came here to be. To speak only love, to feel love, to attract love, and to attract abundance. Abundance is my birthright. Abundance is something that every child of God or of Source gets by default, because there is no limit of it in the universe. So I shall not create a limit where there is none. And I shall remove whatever perceived limit I have believed up until this moment. And just tune into the following transmission to help you remove these boundaries and borders with your heart. Awa kae chino utu. Ramakaya morutu, ewareya, anushutu, eya kita katuru, awa maya, maya enu, unuruku koro a, ista au, ista reina, para iti, koya a. And now your sun is going down into your solar plexus, expanding this center that looks like a yellow sphere of light, bringing in a spark of divine masculinity that your body needs, the masculinity you can trust, the masculinity you can be proud to represent, the masculinity you can cherish, the strong, dependable power. So allow that sun to bring that cool, calm, collected energy into your belly and realize that you're safe with it. In fact, you can take more. You can have more right now. You can have as much of that energy as you want. And some of you may notice that there are certain cracks or crevices or just things that are not fully, like almost looks like open wounds in your solar plexus around your belly. And so just allow this sun to reseal those wounds with golden light. Mend everything that's broken. Seal up the wounds. Stench the bleeding. And now that there's nothing leaking, there are no more holes for you to lose that energy. Now you can finally hold on to this energy of divine masculinity. And know that if you lacked a facet of love from your father, this particular sun can replenish the love that you've been missing. Notice that there are empty pieces of glass, like empty glasses or like empty bowls, crystal bowls inside of your belly. If you've been lacking a particular frequency from your father in this lifetime, it would leave all of these empty containers in your belly that have not been filled, but it's a need of yours. And so allow that sun to fill those containers up right now until the very last container is filled. Keep taking that energy because there is no lack of anything in the universe. There is a presence of all things. Abundance is the truth of life. And you can have as much of it as you want. If you have, it doesn't mean somebody else will have less. We're not fighting for resources over here, not truly. That is what they would have us believe. But we all can be abundant. If you're abundant, it doesn't mean somebody else is struggling. In fact, if you're abundant, you can help all of these other people become abundant too. In many ways, just by being in your auric field, they're already going to start shifting and changing because your healed vibration is going to heal theirs. And you don't even have to worry about that. You don't even have to try. So just allow yourself to take from the universe that which you couldn't get from your father in this lifetime, whether that is acknowledgement of you, whether that is simple presence. Like if your dad didn't spend enough time with you or left, got divorced with your mom or left your mom or whatever, and you didn't see your dad, whatever that may be, take from the universe right now what you wish your dad gave you. Time, energy, love, acceptance. All of those things unconditionally you can have right now. And just allow yourself to expand your capacity to receive. Allow yourself to have even more, 10 times more, 100 times more. And know that you're safe. And know that divine masculinity is safe. This energy is safe. You can trust it. And you can trust yourself to tell the difference between safe and unsafe energies. You are a deeply intuitive being. You have discernment. You can trust yourself. I promise you. And now let the sun go down into your sacral. Lower belly, sacral. Orange energies, orange sphere. And allow the sun to unlock whatever it needs to unlock, like the key. And open all of these doors in your sacral center, in your orange center, that have been boarded up because it wasn't safe for you to express yourself in the way that you wanted to express yourself, or move in the way that you wanted to move. It's almost like there was somebody overseeing your every action, your every step. And now you no longer need the overseer. You no longer need that part of you that always second guesses and questions your every step and your every move. Notice this part right now. Take it by its hands. And tell this overseer, and by the way, for some of you, it may be the perfectionist, also another version of an overseer, or just like whoever's commenting on what you're doing in your head. For some reason, we found them in this chakra, so let's deal with that. So take them by the hands and tell them, I see you. And thank you for helping me all these years. Thank you for showing up for me when nobody else would. Thank you for guarding me and preventing me, or trying to prevent me, from making mistakes. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for the work that you have done for me. And I cherish you. And I love you. And from this place of love, I ask you to do something else for me going forward. I no longer need you to question me. I no longer need you to doubt me. I no longer need you to remind me how imperfect I am. But what I would love for you is to remind me that I am worthy just as I am. So now your only job, all day, every day, is to remind me that I am worthy just as I am. And if you just do that, that's all I need. And notice how this part of you nods in agreement and understanding and says, yes, I understand. And I'm happy to do this for you. I'm happy to no longer feel like I need to oversee you, and instead support you and tell you how worthy you are, just as you are. And notice how this energy of feeling worthy, opens up whole new dimensions in your orange sphere, whole new dimensions that this sun can fill. All of these new rooms and spaces and hallways and all of the things like you have never noticed that were there. But now all of them are starting to fill up with light. All of them are now starting to fill up with energy. Because you are worthy. And everything that you are doing is correct and right and perfect, just as you are. Allow yourself to take a deep breath in and out. And we're going to let the sun drop into our root, the 7th chakra, or the 1st, depending on how you count. And that is a sphere of red light, our sphere of safety, our chakra that helps us stay connected to this reality. And so notice how this energy of universal abundance, that is the sun, enters your red sphere very easily because it's a key that unlocks all the doors. It enters and it makes a home for itself there. And you may notice that there are going to be some rooms, some places in your root that don't want to receive this abundance, that feel like they're better off without it. You just remind those parts of you that it is safe to receive, that there is no payback coming, that these energies are your birthright. They are of light and they can only help you. And watch how the sun fills up your root center with golden light of abundance. And now that all of your 7 chakras are filled with this golden light, notice how they're all starting to connect with this golden liquid light. And you're starting to emanate it from your crown, from your neck, from your heart, from your back even, from your belly, from your legs, from your hand, everywhere. Your entire body is becoming magnetic. Your body is starting to vibrate at the frequency of true abundance and true love. Because you are worthy right now, just as you are. And know in your heart of hearts that this is the energy that you can carry with you always. And in the background, no matter what you do, is going to attract the highest level of abundance towards you. Because you are magnetic. And you will attract so many things into your life. So much more than you ever thought was possible. Because you are connected to this very potent solar energies. In fact, you have become them. And according to the law of resonance, like attracts like, you're going to attract more of the same golden liquid energy to your body. And now, I invite you to softly, gently start coming back. And some of you may feel like you need to stretch and move your body around because more room has been created in your third body. If you need to stretch or bend or, whatever you need to do to move your body, do so. Because even on the physical level, it may feel a little bit constraining. And it's not just because we've been sitting for 3 hours, I promise you. It's more than that. So let yourself move that body and know that you're just really ready for your next level now. It's the law. You're, with this new space in you, you're going to attract your next level. And let me know how you guys are feeling in the little comments whenever you feel cold, whenever that feels aligned to you. And send me hearts if you're so inclined, if you loved it. I love everybody who's sending me hearts. It's just so cute. You can send like little hearts, like in the react. Oh, I love all these hearts. Thank you. And somebody's sending me like celebration hats. So thank you all. It's been so special sharing space with you. I know some of you didn't get to ask the questions. Unfortunately, this is how, this is how these events work, right? But know that no matter what, even if you haven't already received an answer to your question, you will, because remember, you have the connection to your higher self from the beginning of this. So go to sleep tonight with an intention to receive from your own personal channel all the answers that you haven't gotten. And you will receive, and they will unpack in due time. I love you all so much. I'm giving you a big virtual hug. If you feel inclined to dive deeper with me and learn with me how the divine would teach money, I invite you to join me in January. The course is called Thrive, and it starts January 11th. Sergey, if you have a link, feel free to drop it in the chat so that people can find it very easily. Of course, it'll probably get lost in your comments, but Sergey is going to drop it for you right now. But I have so much love for you. There's going to be a recording for this, you guys. And if you want to redo the practices, feel free, because it's always good to redo the practices. And thank you, Sergey. I don't know if you can pin that or if it's even possible to pin a comment. I don't know. But it's in the chat, and if not, it's on my website. This is Mariya. So much love for you guys. I hope that you got from this event what you were hoping to get out of it, and hopefully even more, because I like to bring more than expected. And I'll be doing more of these. So I hope to see you during one of my next ones. And with that, we're going to close the circle. Remember, we're still in the circle. Remember, you had your intentions at the beginning. So I'm going to ask you to, those intentions are in the middle of the circle. If they haven't been fulfilled, bring your circle, bring your sphere, golden sphere, back to you and release it into the universe, like throw it up. And know that the universe is going to catch it on the other side, and it's going to bring to you exactly what you asked for, in the way that the universe believes you are, ready to receive it, right? So we need to leave a little bit of room for creativity for the universe. It will have a little bit of that grace for the universe, but know that if you're throwing that intention into the air, it's already on its way to you. And with that, allow yourself to step out of the circle, right? So your own energy remains your own. And while we carry the memory of this beautiful communion, you will walk out of there with your own energies, and the energies of the group are going to stay in this collective space within the constraints of this video. All right, my love, so much love for you. And thank you for all the hearts and all of the wonderful messages in the chat. So yeah, I'm really excited to share more of these in the future. I'm looking at this question, will I do another Thrive course in the future for different time zones? It looks great. Not that I'm aware of. So far, Spirit just sends me like, you do this, Mariya, and so far I haven't repeated anything. So what are the odds that I'm going to repeat it again? Not very high. So that's unfortunately, I think it's the only Thrive for now, but you never know. It could be Spirit guided. So yes, but thank you for that question. And that's it. Big virtual hug for you guys, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.